love Israel? Israel number one. No politic here. Why you no love Israel? Oh, you hate it? I'm Israel high. 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 You have forgotten to say I'm Israel high? Do you love Israel? You must love Hamas. You are Hamas. I'm Israel high. 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 Oh, Israel not number one for you. Oh, anti-Semitism. Israel, small nation. Israel, tiny nation surrounded by scary Muslims. Ah, you are anti-Semitism. You are Hamas. You are Hamas. No politics here. Say Israel number one. Tweet Israel number one. No politics here. 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 Say you condemn Hamas. Say I'm Israel high. Say you condemn October 7. You are Hamas. No politics here. 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 What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Hasan. Our broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day, coming to you live from 78 degrees and sunny California, Los Angeles, stolen Tongva land, stolen Tongva territory. We're live, we're alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one. It is 10:59 a.m. on this wonderful thirsty Thursday, March 19th, 2026. Let's fucking go. We're live, we're alive, and I hope everyone's having a great one. Who up stolen they land right now? Tomorrow's the day I will be in Cuba, in Havana. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs. This is the last day that I have on Los Angeles soil for at least the weekend. And it's almost Cuba Day. It's been months and months in the making, and hopefully we're going to get there. Anyway, yeah. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasan. I've been playing between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God, that's precisely what I'm going to do. And honestly, there is, I did an interview this morning. I did an interview this morning. I did what else? I worked out. I'm in a pretty decent mood overall. I didn't read the hit piece that came out. I tweeted, chud ass loser, you already know what it is. Dude, new banger. Yeah, I know. Democrats can't be too cozy with Hasan Piker. That's awesome. I can't wait to read it. I love hit pieces like this. Am I crazy? I think hit pieces like this these are bangers. A lot of people unfortunately don't know that this is just a Wall Street Journal opinion editorial written by a right-wing Democratic Party think tank operative that has fallen tremendously out of favor with the party. And that's, precisely the reason why they write shit like this. But it's like, but because a lot of people don't know how this stuff works, they think like, oh my God, Wall Street Journal is attacking Hasan. No, it's not the case, but we'll do it regardless. You getting called out by influencers with Cuban background? Yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. Yeah, I'm getting called out by the Wall Street Journal. I'm getting called out by influencers with a Cuban background. You know, I got ops everywhere, dude. I got ops everywhere.
Yes, today's a shorter stream day than the usual, but regardless, if there's anyone who can like reliably skip this paywall, remove this paywall, I would love to dive into it. I don't know why they chose this photo of me. You can see my fucking pimple patch. Like, it's an ass cheeks photo, man. What are we doing here? You're going to get called out by gamers for not gaming. True, that too, obviously. Fran Hong Wen, brother, I'm going to do that, but you're out of your dang mind. I swear you need to do a media literacy segment. A lot of younger chatters in here have the same amount of media literacy as their hog counterparts and stumbled upon leftism. I know, but I do a media literacy segment every day on this broadcast. Like, that's my primary purpose here. That's why they got to show a 34-year-old adult got them big ass pimples. Yeah, I don't like that. But yeah, that's it. I'm blasting off real quick because honestly, I don't got too much time at this point. I don't got too much time at this point to just do any of this. We just gotta blast it off. Epstein Fury Day 19. Strait of Hormuz still closed. Trump blames Israel for gas fuel strike. Energy markets blow up. Unsanctioning Iranian oil. Right-wing Democratic Party think tank writes Wall Street Journal hit piece. Going to Cuba tomorrow. Will Trump drop Israel? Fuck no. By the way, I hope people understand that, like, when I'm talking about how Israel is running the show here, that doesn't mean that, like, Trump still doesn't have the fucking one phone call method. That's still absolutely something that he has at his disposal. Are you going to blast chatters in the ether if they come in with dumb, bad faith statements? Maybe. I don't think I have a lot of time to be able to do that, though, unfortunately. So, who knows? Anyway, ad-free article. Oh, thank you. You were able to get the article and put it on Imgur. Am I crazy, or is that you can't associate with Hasan kicking the high gear when Newsom agreed to come on the broadcast? Yeah. No, they got like really scared that Gavin Newsom also sees me as like a gatekeeper, which he probably doesn't. So you fear not, you know. Do we have a blast off meme, chatters? Do we have a blast off meme? It seems like Iran might have actual MIRVs. Israel's Ben Gurion airport manager. There's a new type of weapon. It is not the same missile. Each one of the bombs can hit an aircraft, and the chance is higher than a single missile. Oh, yeah. That's a multiple reentry vehicle, right? Isn't that what that is? Doesn't that sound like something that has like submunitions that have targeting capabilities? An MIRV. We'll talk about that. We're fucking obviously monitoring the living shit out of the situation. We will not stop monitoring the living shit out of the situation. You already know. This is the number one spot to monitor the situation, all situations, but specifically this morning when I was working out here, I'm gonna blast off real quick. This morning when I was lifting and I was weightlifting, I was listening to the daily, which is what I like to do because it makes me angry and it helps me achieve a higher lift. It boosts my testosterone levels when I hear Michael Barbaro whisper sweet nothings into my ear and operate like a stenographer for the State Department, right? Especially as it pertains to foreign policy. It's very frustrating for me to listen. But this morning's daily was actually a little bit different. Many of you might have encountered this experience if you were tuning in during the post-October 7 period. You would hear me say something, and then maybe 2 months later, you would hear NPR repeat it, right? There was this like two-month latency period. Like we would talk about, you know, Israel utilizing drones that were sounding off like crying babies to try to get Palestinians out of their shelter so that they could literally kill them with drone strikes. I would cover that story, and then like no one else would really cover that story in mainstream news until like maybe like 2, 3, 4 months later down the line, you would see the same segment on NPR. The timeline from Hasan broadcast coverage to the New York Times has diminished because they are now openly admitting things that I was saying 19 days ago as far as like what I think is going to happen. That's a major improvement as far as like how fast even the New York Times is coming to terms with certain realities. I think that is a testament to how bad the war effort is going. I think that is a testament to how much Donald Trump has fucked this entire thing up, specifically for capital owners, right? Because the impact is being felt already. That people are terrified. I saw a Daily Mail article about like what it would look like if this war continued for 4 months, and what kind of collapse would take place in Europe and in Asia, right? Like people are talking about bread lines, riots, no more car travel, no more air travel, things like that for certain countries. So you know, it's this Encourage is panned out where this is 4 months from. What do you mean? Iran put out a footage of a F-35 being hit. No shot. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Oh my God, American empire is so fucking over. It's not even funny. There's no way this is real, right? No fucking shot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's real. Oh my God, it's real. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's real. Oh my God. CENTCOM confirmed it. CNN confirmed it. Oh my God. That is crazy, brother. That is our premiere. This is the next gen. This is the next gen. Oh no. Oh, we are so fucking washed, dude. Oh my God. Oh, U.S. air supremacy. Oh my God, the F-35 multi-role fighter jet, something that costs almost $1 trillion fucking dollars. How is that possible? Sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. Oh my lordy. Donald Trump thinks this fucking plane is invisible too. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so fucking bad. Oh, that's your healthcare. That's literally your healthcare. That is your healthcare that just perished, okay? We could have had high-speed rail, a network of high-speed rail in this country. We could have had, oh my God, we have the fuck-ass jet F-35 multi-role fighter jet instead of healthcare in this goddamn country, instead of fucking schools, instead of high-speed rail. Oh my lordy, that is crazy. That is actually crazy. Oh my Lord, that is wild. Wait, someone make this with QRT it with this? No, someone make it with, okay, I'm gonna fight IRGC. Damn, IRGC got hands. Or Iran. By 2017, the program was expected over his lifetime until 2070 to cost $406 billion for acquisition of the jets and $1.1 trillion for the operations and maintenance. Stop playing with me, dude. Inside Wire said it's fake. I mean, if CNN says it's real, CENTCOM says it's real, who the fuck gives a shit about what Inside Wire is saying, you know? Oh my Lord, dude. Sources tell me the F-35 is stable. Please, God. Bro said, here you go, and then sent this cropped ass image. Bro, this is ass. This is ass. Yeah, let me tune into Benjamin Shapiro. I want to hear what he has to say about whether or not this F-35 was shot. I don't see why any jet is incapable of being shot at. Brother, I need you to understand something, okay? The F-35 multi-role fighter jet is supposed to be the last generation fighter jet that the United States currently has at its disposal. It is one of the most costly endeavors we have engaged in, totaling more than $1 trillion fucking dollars. If they are capable of being taken out by, relative, like conventional loitering munitions or surface-to-air missiles, that directly contradicts the air superiority argument that the American government can utilize. That also is a major blow to the confidence that we could have. This is not like some old tech that we're working with, where our foreign adversaries have had years and years and years of combat experience to basically design a way to successfully counteract. It's unbelievably bad. It is unbelievably bad if the F-35 is actually taken out by Iranian anti-air missiles. Do you understand? It shows two things. Number one, they still have denial capabilities. Okay, Iran still has denial capabilities, and they're very successfully utilizing it. Number two, it also shows us that the American air superiority is busted and dusted. It's unfucking believable. Given that the U.S. now has effectively run out of standoff munitions, they finally ordered an F-35 sortie into Iranian space. This stealth aircraft was detected, targeted, and struck, and was lucky to make it back to base in one piece. Oh my fucking Lord. Dude, this is worse than the motherfucking... Bro. This is literally worse than the gas field shit, okay? For all the missile autists, for all the plane autists, this was something that I could not believe when the New York Times initially reported that a F-35 was dinged by the Ansar Allah, the Ansar Allah loitering like anti-air defenses. I thought there's no shot. How the fuck would the Ansar Allah movement have a capability to hit the F-35? It turns out they did. It turns out this is real. Yeah, F-35, turd. F-35 is right. The OSINT tech nerds are saying that Iran is a totally new type of radar that our stealth fighters don't even register. If you look, that F-35 didn't even evade. They had no idea it was coming. I don't understand it. If this is real, it is a fucking devastating blow. Dude, you know what this reminds me of? It's like people thinking that, we have the best cavalry units, okay? And then they encounter an explosive ordnance for the first time, okay? Like this literally feels like America running around being like, excuse me, we have the greatest cavalry units. We've destroyed their cavalry. They don't even have horseback mounted units any longer. How could they ever do warfare? And then they just come out with a fucking cannon and they're like, what the fuck is this? A cannon? Whatever this thing is. Seems kind of stupid to unfold this on the battlefield, and then boom, out of nowhere, you're like, what the fuck? Do you understand? Like this, if this is a mass producible, repeatable incident, this literally renders the F-35 like tanks, basically. If Ukraine and Russia showed that tanks were unreliable in drone combat, this is yet another instance where it's done. Like, there's no, like, why the fuck would you use this? Why do I not find this shocking at all? I mean, am I crazy? Am I did I just like lean into the crazy coverage on the fucking F-35s? That I just assumed that it wouldn't be like this $1 trillion operation would not be taken out by fucking Iranian missiles this easily? Is this China tech or Iran tech? I don't. Oh my God, dude, I cannot. It's unbelievable. It is fucking unbelievable. You don't believe in Chinese tech? No, I do believe in Chinese tech. I don't know if this is a Chinese missile or a Chinese surveillance system. I don't know if it's any of that. Okay, we don't know. I don't know. I'm not a missilotist. I don't know what the Iranian capabilities are. I have a lot of. I've been steadily impressed every single day with like not only the Iranian resilience so far, but also their engineering and their ingenuity in general. They have, it's a nation of fucking nerds. Okay, this is what happens when you got a nation of chud ass nerds. Their highest ranking officials are chud ass nerds when it comes to fucking merging Western philosophy and Eastern Islamic principles. They got like 18 PhDs. That's what their leadership looks like. And their entire fucking government structure is designed by engineers. It's the most engineering country of all time. So maybe they have their own version. I don't know if it's the Chinese one, but it's yeah, this is crazy. I gotta text Felix. Holy fuck, dude. That is crazy, brother. What the hell? I gotta fucking call Marat. Let's not get away with it too much. Russia and China are helping Iran, buddy. Okay, dude. Listen, that could be the case here, but like the idea, dude, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's $1 trillion. It's $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm losing my fucking mind. I can't. Yeah, the F-35 is so stealthy that even the taxpayers can't see where the $1 trillion went. Done. It's done. It's over. Pack it up. Bring everybody back home. Bring the boys back home right now. Bring the boys back home right now. It's over. It's over. American imperialism is over. It's done. Pack it up. Bring the fucking troops home right now. No more warfare. We gave the Strait to Iran. Just give it up. Give it up. It's over. It's over. $2 trillion. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Wrap it up. Wrap it up. We could have built millions of miles. We could have done a robust high-speed rail network with that money. We could have literally fixed our entire infrastructure. We could have designed socialized medicine in this fucking country. I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. Oh. Will Amerivassal still buy the plane? Who gives a shit? Let him buy it, okay? Dude, I'm sorry. The Axis is cooking our assholes right now. It's done. It's done. It's time to become England. It's time to become England. This is the moment, okay? It's time to become England. You know how they closed up piece by piece every single fucking colony? It's time right now. If you cut away from the losses right now, you can still salvage the situation. We can still salvage the situation. Cut away from the losses presently, okay? Make haste. Cut away and just become England. And then you can just, you know, we can be England. It's fine. England is fine. I mean, they're suffering right now because we're cooking their asses, but like it's over. It's done. It's done. American empire is done. It's done. Write it out. What? The whole F-35 program was $2 trillion? Yeah, you think I think every F-35 is $1 trillion? Are you fucking insane? No, I'm saying that the like functionality of the F-35, which is a true $2 trillion project, is literally evaporating in real life in front of your eyes. If the latest generation American multi-role fighter jet can be taken out with Iranian munitions like this, it sucks. It's useless. The F-35 got obviously hit by some optical targeting system like the Iranian Object 359, some very cheap but clever system. The F-35 didn't even use its flare, so it wasn't some manpad. That's what I'm saying, bro. They didn't even know it was coming. Are you fucking kidding me? $2 trillion? $100 million per plane right now. That's $2 trillion of the overall fucking cost of the program down the goddamn toilet. I'm like I said, I'm not a plane autist, right? I'm not a plane autist at all. But from what I understand, like when you roll out your new gear, it's supposed to have a little bit of dominance until the adversaries can figure out unique ways of retooling their defense systems so they can like maybe get a ding off, maybe take some pot shots, right? Like it should not be. This should not happen. That's all I'm saying. Like you're talking about, you know, adversary detection systems, adversary striking capabilities that need to be advanced in the field of battle. They start, you know, reconfiguring how they're going to do targeting without being targeted themselves, right? Like all of this shit. This was a ding no. No, that's what I'm saying. You can't be getting dinged out. You can't be getting shot at. The F-35 isn't new anymore, man. It's almost 20 years old. The F-47 is the new one that hasn't been shown off yet. If it's anything like the F-35 program, it's cooked. Is my industry? Contract bloat is real. I mean, I know this industry. I am very familiar with this industry. Okay? There's a reason why everyone is covering this story, by the way, because this is a profound development. It's also F-47 is meant to replace the F-22, not the F-35. I mean, this is insane. What you're saying is true, but without real combat to test these things out, people developing the weapons can make wrong assumptions. Same thing happened with naval warfare during the First World War. Okay, but this is a spectacular failure, especially because America has been at war non-fucking stop. Non-fucking stop. Bro, you don't know our real multi-role supremacy. She goes to another school. Holy fuck, dude. God damn. Please just pack it up. Please pack it up. Please pack it up. 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 Just pack it up. We got to pack it up ASAP, bro. We got to pack it up ASAP. It's done. It's over. It's done. It's over. The important thing here is not whether an F-35 was shot down. It was the fact that Iran's air defense was able to detect, track, and lock onto and shoot and damage an F-35 without the F-35 even knowing that it was actually locked onto. Like, look at this. Breaking. IRGC claims F-35 hit over central Iran. Footage unverified. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said its air defense struck a U.S. F-35 fighter jet around 2:50 a.m. over central Iran, claiming the aircraft was seriously damaged and likely crashed, though its fate remains unclear. So I need you to understand something. This means, one, Iran still got hands, which we knew already, okay? And what I mean by that is like they very clearly still have anti-air defense systems in play. What happened to the air superiority argument? America was like, oh, dude, it's over. We already have full-blown air superiority. What did I tell you? I told you that they have weapons that they fucking roll out randomly. They don't have stable, fixed position anti-aircraft munitions because they would get lasered like on day 2. So they periodically roll out their fucking anti-aircraft weapons, okay? I told you that. And these guys kept repeating this nonsense that America had established air superiority. And clearly they believed their own fucking nonsense because otherwise they wouldn't have rolled out the F-35. So that's number one. So their defenses have not been obliterated, clearly, okay? Number two, this puts a direct blow in the American force projection capabilities. If your last gen fighter jets, if your last gen multi-role fighter jets that cost $2 trillion with the R&D and with all the fucking procurement are getting dinged without even noticing that they're getting dinged by Iranian missiles, is over. Is over. Bro, like anyone after today that comes at me and tries to say, well, bro, we would fucking destroy China, can suck my cock from the entire back, okay? You can start sucking from my asshole before you get to my penis. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your fucking mind, dude? Look at this. Yani Erdoğan haklı mı çıktı? No, Erdoğan hala istiyor. Erdoğan hala istiyor. Look at this. That's crazy. The IRGC said the incident follows the interception of more than 125 American Zionist drones, pointing to what it described as improved air defense capabilities. The claimant footage remains unverified, except there's an update. U.S. F-35 fighter jet damaged by suspected Iranian fire makes an emergency landing at a U.S. airbase in the Middle East, sources say. Bro, we have daisy-chained stratotanker after stratotanker after stratotanker because we don't have any fucking bases in the region that aren't in arm's length distance from Iranian drone strikes and Iranian cluster munitions. So we literally have designed this complex daisy chain of stratotankers that are refueling these planes because they have to start their flight from all the way out there, as far as they possibly can get. And then they make their motherfucking way to the Iranian airspace and they get clapped? Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. Greetings from Serbia. Serbia was able to down F-117 Nighthawks when no one knew what stealth really was, all with the knowledge of the designated flight travel. Yeah, that's the sorry we didn't know it was invisible line. That's where it's from. IRGC statement on the anti-aircraft system that hit the F-35. Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters says the proud, knowledgeable, and valiant youth of the aerospace force of the IRGC after the imposed 12-day war succeeded in developing new air defense. No shot. No, they did not design. There's no way that they were like, get the autists together. We have to find a new air defense system. Write it off. Since the 12-day war, they did not design a new anti-air defense system since the last 12-day war. This has to be Chinese tech. Okay, I take it back. I was skeptical that it was Chinese air defense, but now I think it must be Chinese because yeah, you can't just fucking design an anti-air defense system in like a matter of months. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, they were like rushing the Tylenol babies right now. We got to get all of our maximum autists on the job. Says you? No, that doesn't make any sense, chatter. You're out of your fucking mind. You can't just like develop a new indigenous missile system inside of Iran with all the fucking sanctions in a matter of like a couple months. Okay? That's not how this works. Anyway, the proud, the knowledgeable, the valiant youth of the aerospace force of the IRGC after the imposed 12-day war succeeded in developing new air defense equipment and systems and deploying them in the country's integrated air defense system, striking the legendary power and invincibility of the ultra-advanced fifth-generation American F-35 aircraft, breaking its aura for the first time in the world and discrediting it. If 60% of all STEM graduates in Iran are women, then they got the scariest type of autism there. Girl autism. Yes, bro. Yes. Yes. Iran is developing new tech at anime speeds not seen on this earth before. I mean, look, people love an underdog story. I wonder if this is how they felt when they were watching America just like punish Vietnam for no fucking reason. And we were just sitting there being like, why are we doing this? We shouldn't do this. It's got to be like a similar experience, right? Where it's like nobody wants this except for like maybe a couple people that really want this, and they want it because they want it at the behest of a foreign nation. And we just kind of have to sit here and be like, oh, another day, I guess. F-22 cortisol spike. That missile was fucking moving too goddamn. Yeah. Is Iran actually Wakanda? Yeah, it's Wakanda for the autism. It's autism. It's autism Wakanda. Also, China is kind of like that too. Let's be real. Remember, another country with fucking STEM lords out the wazoo, out the ass. Watch them blame the pilot. They're gonna be like, it's a woman pilot. Yeah, this is a tremendous failure for American ingenuity. This is unbelievable. I mean, it's totally unfucking believable. I need to see the cope on this shit. I need to see the cope on this right now. What happened to all the fucking pro-NATO Os and Andes that were like, excuse me, who's to say we have not accomplished our military objectives? We've decapitated their leadership and we double tapped a school. That's a success. Iran gonna find out why we don't have healthcare. It's like, bitch, you don't have healthcare. You are the one who doesn't have healthcare. You're asking the wrong questions. You're making the wrong statements. You should be saying, we should have healthcare instead of this. You don't even have the force projection confidence booster any longer. How do you sit here and watch $2 trillion light on fucking fire? What has NATO have to do with it? This is a U.S. operation. NATO is U.S. and I'm referencing like the pro-NATO, pro-U.S. Andes. Can someone link me to tweet Hasan had up with a poster that said the F-35 was invisible or something? I couldn't get it. Yeah, also, it's wonderful that Donald Trump, again, JD Pondon, the bullet pierced my ear, but I still hear the voice of the party. JD Pondon comes out. Share of respondents who say it's either better to depend on China or on the U.S. under Donald Trump. Canada, 57% say it's better to trust China. Germany, 40% say it's better to trust China. France, 34% say it's better to trust China. The UK, 42% say it's better to trust China. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I never thought I would see the day. I never thought I would see the day where the Euroids are waking up to the reality that they have been vassalized. What is happening? This is why I said these are the weeks where decades happen. That's why I said it. America's century of humiliation is upon us. It is now time to redesign everything, okay? We got to pick this society apart piece by piece to rebuild it. It's over. The faster we pivot away from our endless militarism, the better it will be for American society, for ordinary Americans. Please, please, I know no one will listen to me except for the motherfuckers in here, but god damn, dude, please. Oh, for years and years, I have spent countless hours explaining that American militarism and American imperialism is not good for the European allies that have been vassalized. American imperialism is not good for the ordinary Americans that don't benefit from the imperial bounty. For years, I have explained that we are spread far too thin, but even I never thought that it would take a matter of like weeks for America to come short. All it took was for a country to say, all right, fuck this. I'm not playing ball any longer. And even that country was actively trying to negotiate over and over and over and over again. Even that country kept saying, Iran kept saying, please, let's negotiate. Please, please, let's negotiate. And our fucking fat cats thought that that restraint was not because of their naivete, but that restraint was because they were terrified. That's what we thought. American hubris. We thought their restraint and their interest in negotiating with us was born out of a real fear. A real fear of American military superiority. We have the most sophisticated weapons. We have the best weapons. You said this like 5 weeks ago too. I remember thinking, inshallah, one day. I did. I've been saying this for years. Having said that, however, I did not think it would be this much. I did not think it would be this fast and this embarrassing. Even with the 12-day war, I thought, okay, there will be a lot of pummeling. They'll blow the fuck out of, they'll blow up the positions. They'll close up the tunnels. Iran won't have the striking capabilities. It turns out American capitalism was also our biggest security weakness, our biggest flaw, because of the complex international design of global capital. You can just hit the heart of capital centers. You can hit profit centers from Iranian TELs. You can hit American profit centers by shutting off the fucking Strait of Hormuz, for example. And then when you do that, the entire system falls apart. It's a very weak system for that reason. An incredibly important lesson to learn here, for the record. From the last frames of the F-35 being hit by Iranian air defense, it looks like some type of shrapnel got in the air intake and damaged the engine, but the airframe looked largely intact. The important thing here is not whether the F-35 was shot down. It was the fact that Iran's air defenses were able to detect, track, lock onto, and shoot and damage the F-35. This alone is a form of deterrence, forcing the U.S. to continue using expensive standoff munitions with their non-stealth aircraft and avoid using F-35 with impunity. I know where it landed. There's only 2 bases. I live here. It was flying over me. Really mad. Oh my Lord. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. And this is not like Russia. This is not like Russia at all. This comes after 2.5 years of Israel doing genocide, unlimited genocide in Gaza with American defenses, with American help, with American aid, with American weapons, right? This also is like, this also wasn't like, Russia invading Ukraine, right? This is America and Israel, 2 partners that have shown that they're unreliable already and expended all the goodwill that they may have had with their European partners, striking a sovereign nation state. So right now is open season for Iran. They have every right to defend themselves. So every single thing that they do, every single military goal that they achieve, every single profit center that's hit is not being, the blame and the responsibility is not being put on Iran. It's being put on America and Israel. Even in places like the United States of America, instead of people feeling hardened and instead of people feeling emboldened, people feeling a sense of pride and getting angry at the enemy, right? They realize that we did this. We did this. It is an underdog story in some ways. We should have never done any of this. We should have never done any of this. Okay? That much is clear, I hope. My Lord, here, let's watch the impact a little bit. National gas prices.
Almost immediately in the prices people pay here at the pump. Overnight prices
I gotta
rising
pee.
another 5 cents. The nationwide average now $3.90 a gallon. Since this war began, prices have jumped 96 cents, and they are now at their highest levels since 2022. That's when they hit $5 a gallon. Meantime, diesel prices, that is the lifeblood of the American economy. It fuels shipping, trains, semi-trucks, hauling products, and of course farmers use this fuel as well. It is now $5.05 a gallon. The past 2 weeks have brought the biggest 2-week price increase in diesel on record, and it all comes down to oil, which is now $95 a barrel, in that range. Every $1 move in oil prices translates to about a 2 to 3 cent move higher at the pump. If sustained, this would mean that households are adding about $1,000 or more to their costs over the course of a year. And if you think about this, this is part of everything. Heating costs, the cost of an Uber, the cost of food, it ripples through the entire economy, Robin.
Many people are thinking about that. You're right, Rebecca. Thank you.
Day 20 of this war, Israel and the US have continued to hit targets in Iran. But there is a new type of target, a new category over here. We're going to talk about it. Israel targeting Iranian energy infrastructure and Iran hitting back. This.
I didn't even realize how perfect my fucking new merch is for this moment. Look. Yeah, I didn't even realize that I'm literally wearing my new merch that's coming out, and it's a perfectly illustrative of the moment that is happening currently. That I designed this literally fucking like 3 months ago, okay, or even longer than that. Is crazy. Pre-watch Piker, precog Piker, baby. Did you start World War III just to sell merch? Yeah. Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's merch today. Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, here at the Piker Broadcasting Service, you know, it's not always going to be fun. Okay, but Union Made, American Made merchandise, ideology.shop. Please, your voluntary contributions in the form of a Twitch Prime. So you got stakes in this too? Yeah, I'm fucking, call me Josh Gottheimer the way I traded on insider information.
Is an escalation, a big one that deepens both the war itself and the problems for the global economy. Let's zoom in a bit to understand this more, because it's really important. The waters between Iran and Qatar actually in between.
Erica Kirk ass merchant. Yeah, that's me, baby.
Between them is the world's largest natural gas field. And the two countries, well, they divvy it up pretty much. Iran calls it the South Pars. Qatar calls it North Dome. Now, Israel struck targets related to it in Iran. Whether or not it had the approval of the US is now a matter of contention. This shows the video of the aftermath of a strike in Asalea. Iran struck back straight away, hitting the Ras Laffan complex. Qatar said there was extensive damage, taking out 17% of Qatar's natural gas export capacity. Repairs are expected to take 3 to 5 years. That has led to the price of gas to shoot up. So that means a country like us here in the UK, where gas is a crucial part of our energy mix, we're going to see higher energy prices. But Iran also threatened to strike other energy infrastructure facilities across the region, including Saudi Arabia's SAM Ref Refinery. That is over here, and that's really important. You'll notice we've shifted over on the map away from the Strait of Hormuz, which we will talk about. A lot of people say, well, maybe
Is Qatar exaggerating the damage to satisfy Iran? I don't think so. I think they like actually are cooking the fucking gas fields.
maybe this is a way to bypass the Strait of Hormuz, the issues there. But if this is a target now, well, that plan doesn't work anymore. And there are also targets much closer to the Strait. In Saudi Arabia, on this side of it, up here. In Qatar, we've talked about it. Also the UAE, another gas field down there. So we've been talking about gas in Qatar.
The other side of this is that Americans spent hours on hours at Davos, at all these different international summits, yelling at the European allies for desperately trying to get on the renewable energy grid, desperately trying to electrify their grid, right? If you recall, Howard Butlick went on stage and was like, why the fuck would you move into the realm of renewable energy when China controls that? Wouldn't you want reliable, energy that we're providing you? Fossil fuels, right? You guys got to stop trying to electrify your grid. You guys got to stop moving in the direction of renewable energy. Well, after today's incident, not even today's incident, but like the last couple of months have shown, turns out in order to have energy independence, you have to move into the realm of renewables. Because what was previously foreseen as reliable energy, okay, reliable energy is no longer seen as reliable energy no longer, right? Look at Cuba. The fact that they have any energy whatsoever right now after 3 months of not having any oil come onto the island is because 30% of their entire energy grid is now solar panels due to Chinese solar panels that have been sent, that have been shipped off. That's it. Is solar panel time. This is something that people have been pushing for many, many years. In order to stave off some of the worst elements of anthropogenic climate change, people have been actively advocating for it. But also, there is an independence, an energy independence angle here too. 70% of LNG production is insane. Qatar Energy said this is $20 billion in annual revenue loss. If oil fields keep getting hit, it seems the GCC countries may not pivot their primary frustration to Iran, or may pivot their primary frustration to Iran. At least that's what the Qataris and Saudis are suggesting. Yes. Yeah. Qatar Energy just announced that they may have to declare force majeure on long-term contracts for up to 5 years, dude. We have escalated into worst-case scenario territory overnight, and it literally happened because Israel struck the gas fields. Just remember, Israel struck the gas fields. Iran and Qatar share that gas field. Force majeure means forced closure is done. They're packing it up. Like they're packing up the contracts. They just don't have the capability. That is an unbelievable energy crisis. That's precisely the reason why, by the way, Donald Trump came out. That's precisely the reason why Donald Trump came out last night and said this dumbass Truth Social post that I replied to. I said, everybody panic now. He came out and said, where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Statement from President Trump on the South Pars gas field. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. I mean, I just didn't think that the end of the world would be so funny at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, This man is a wordsmith, brother. What do you mean? Out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as the South Pars gas field in Iran. Like, like, this is, Israel just got real mad. Who knows why? And then they just lashed out at a facility. It's so funny to describe Israel escalating. Okay, Israel escalating its unlimited bombing campaign to new targets that are predictably going to cause energy collapse in the world. And it's just the way he tries to describe it. The way he tries to describe it is like the New York Times trying to write about an incident where Israel like blew up a school with orphans or something. You know what I mean? You know how like the New York Times loves never putting the blame directly on Israel when Israel has blown up yet another, orphanage or whatever. That's Donald Trump's own version of like passive voice, but he's obviously incapable of writing in passive voice because he's not the New York Times editor, right? Like the New York Times editor has spent decades upon decades correcting and perfecting its passive voice when it comes time to like writing about police involved shooting incidents, right? As though bullets materialize out of thin air. And the same thing for Israel, right? So when Donald Trump tries to do that, it just comes across very funny. Like it's hilarious to watch a genuinely stupid man get together with his team of also genuinely stupid people to be like, how do we make this work? I can't blame Israel too hard, but it's just they've lashed out violently at a facility because of all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. Who started it, man? And then the rest is even funnier. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack. No, definitely, man. Yeah, Israel blew up the gas fields, and the American government knew nothing of it. Okay? Knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was gonna happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this. Unfortunately, Iran didn't know this. Iran mistook the Israeli-American bombing campaign on the gas fields as the Israeli-American bombing campaign on the gas fields and retaliated. Unfortunately, Iran didn't know this either. Everyone is uninvolved. This is a totally random happenstance. Totally random. Israel just violently lashed out, and then Iran didn't know who was responsible, so they also lashed back at the oil fields. It's clearly not true, and it looks really bad for his admin if it is true. Just the worst statement ever. No, it's one of those incidents where, like, you know how I used to always say I feel kind of bad for like Israel defenders because it's like impossible to defend Israel. This is that moment, right? I mean, I don't actually feel bad for Zionists who get paid to defend Israel, But do you see what I mean? It's like impossible to defend Israel. So if your job is to do PR for the apartheid, the genocidal apartheid state, the Zionist entity, you're going to have a hard time. You're always going to look like a fucking idiot. And the best case scenario for this PR is going to make you look like a buffoon. Obviously, the truth is America did know that Israel was going to do this and said yes because they're fucking morons. But it's awesome. It's awesome that Donald Trump tried to throw Israel under the bus here, but did so in the worst way possible. Anyway, unjustifiable. So yeah, Iran didn't know this, and any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South. You can see, you can feel how sweaty his thumbs were when typing this out, by the way. Or any pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar. Very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. Now, understand something. This part doesn't match up with this threat. Because guess what? You are writing, many people are saying, the most anxiously typed truth social post imaginable because Iran got struck and then retaliated. So if your threat, okay, if your threat in this instance is we'll blow it up even harder, well, then they have nothing to lose, don't you think? Because this is how escalation works. You escalate, and then they escalate, okay? So if you're shitting your fucking pants because Israel, without your knowledge, struck first on the Iranian gas fields, and then Iran retaliated, and it caused you to panic so hard that you wrote this entire thing, this threat doesn't make any sense. You can't just be like, Israel really fucked up by striking this gas field, and then Iran didn't know any better, so they struck back. But if Iran does it again, we'll blow it up even harder. It doesn't make sense. Then, okay, you blow up the gas fields, Iran will literally nuke the entire energy production in the region. Like, this logically doesn't make sense. Okay? Also, it's pretty funny where he's like, without the consent of Israel. What do you mean? Why the fuck do we care about the consent of Israel? You goddamn dog. You're the American president. Act like it. Anyway, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field in an amount of strength and power Iran has never seen before. He's like a child. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar LNG is attacked again, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Military genius, dude. Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if infrastructure like this gets blown up as of this moment, it will take at least a decade to recover from this war. And the truth is that the world's energy picture has probably changed forever, which is true. This single facility produced roughly 20% of global LNG supply, and as of 2011 had taken $70 billion to build. It took 14 years to build this fucking facility, apparently. 14 years, one of the most sophisticated gas facilities on the planet. What makes this even worse is that Iran's strike on this was retaliation after Israel attacked the South Pars gas field, which draws from the same natural gas reservoir, which is the world's largest by far. That's what's so crazy about this. So if Iran didn't even retaliate, that still actually harms the Qatari interests. So they're getting double fucked in this circumstance. Qatar is getting fucked twice. First, when Israel strikes the same gas field, okay, just on the other side of not the coastline, but like it's basically pieced up half and half almost between Qatar and Iran, right? So Qatar is getting it from both ends, first by Israel, then by Iran. Heck, on the list of the 25 largest natural gas fields, this single reservoir holds roughly 40% of their combined recoverable reserves and is nearly 6 times bigger than the second biggest field in the world. And unlike many of the others on the list, it's only at 10% depletion, meaning 90% of the gas is still there. Which means that probably for many years, a huge share of the gas from the world's largest reservoir simply won't be extractable. As infrastructure on both sides, Qatar's and Iran's, has now been blown up. From a global energy supply perspective, we're deep in the worst case scenario territory. I voted for this. I voted to perish the world's largest natural gas reserves. Yeah, also, that was really funny because Trump literally threatens in that Truth Social post to blow up Qatar's gas field to defend Qatar's gas field. Like, none of this makes sense. It's so obviously just a panic tweet late in the night. Incredible, dude. Actually incredible. Where are the nothing ever happens guys? Where are they? I need to hear from them. Satan Yahoo live and addressing everything.
And I think in the final account, as I said, it's up to the Iranian people to show that.
Fucking idiot, dude. Yeah, get fucked.
We can create the conditions, but they have to.
He's still like, come on, Iranians, do something. Why won't you do a revolution now, please? Please, come on, we fucked up.
You can't do it only.
Also, I love addressing the Iranians in Iran in fucking English. I love addressing the beautiful Iranian people in Iran that are going to rise up in fucking English. Know who this audience, you're the audience for this. Okay, well, not you, but like Trump is the audience for this. This is the audience for this is not the Iranian people, okay, who I don't think have had access to internet for the last 19 days regardless.
For a transitional government, a democratic transitional government, or a moderate transitional government. I hope that it comes to being. I think it's too early to say.
Next question from Richard Engel from NBC News.
Good to see you again.
Wait, why are they muting the Richard Engel's question? You think someone fucking punched him in the mouth and that's why his lip looks busted? You think he's dead? He's alive? Yeah, guys. Oh my God.
Well, I
yes,
think we
he's
have
alive.
concrete goals, how to do it, how to end it. We wanted, as I said, decimate the ballistic missile program, which we're doing. Decimate the
well, and then Netanyahu speaks about Iran not having missiles. Iran has fired a few towards the north.
I think that those are goals that are achievable, but I'm not going to put a schedule or a stopwatch on it. I think we have goals.
I think they mute the questions because they are worried that someone might ask a pretty bad one.
This canard,
something like that.
That we drag the United States into it is not just a canard. It's ridiculous.
A canard. He's saying tropes. He's saying, oh, guys, the thing that I came out and sweatily revealed on the first day of us striking Iran. That's a canard. That's an anti-Semitic canard.
In not acting. What do you think would have happened if America did not act now? Just imagine what would have happened. In a few months' time, no more than a year.
What would have happened? None of the awfulness that has taken place so far, actually. It would have been awesome. Things would have been so much better. The world would not be collapsing. The global energy markets would not be sweating bullets right now. Just a lot of shit that would not have taken place, actually. Do you think any of the things that are going on are good? Do you like what's happening even in Israel?
Missiles that can hit Chicago and New York and Florida and Texas and California. Oh, but they don't have it yet. That's what people said. Right, let's wait. Well, just let them do it.
I mean, he's a demonic guy, but I've also never really seen him this frazzled either. Like, he also seems shook. He's fucking crashing out.
Months to prevent them from doing it and to just decimate these industries and perhaps achieve this transitional government in Iran. So you'd sit back and you say, well, it's not going to happen in the next Thursday, so let's not act. I tell you that there's enormous risk in not acting. Much greater risk than acting. And if you think that the oil markets are in trouble today, think of Iran with nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them. Then think of the blackmail that you would endure.
I didn't exactly ask, however.
Okay, we're going to go to the next question.
No, I think it's only fair. This is a serious subject.
What is the question?
One question for,
Yeah, go ahead.
Affleck.
Go ahead.
We don't have a lot of time.
That's,
Why don't this is the war?
go ahead, ask.
Of course, but you have
There are
colleagues that
oil,
want to ask questions.
there are oil
Go ahead, ask.
burning. Gas prices are going up. The war is popular here in Israel. Is not popular with many Americans.
Dude is on like the most evil human being since Hitler. I mean, there's a lot of Hitlers. Like, I think Trump is also one of those guys, right? Like, it's not just
Well, we
Benjamin
have
Netanyahu.
achievable goals, and I'm not going to speak.
Like, Big Yahoo is not the only Hitlerite out, okay? Make no mistake. I would say that America has its own legion of Hitlers as well, okay? Big Yahoo is just like one of the more visible and one of the more annoying ones.
I think, and Americans understand this very well because we're real partners. I think that what has to be done is to have alternative routes.
I don't know why I love calling him Big
Instead of going through
Yahoo.
the choke points of the Hormuz Straits and the Bab el-Mandeb Straits, in order to have the flow of oil, just have oil pipelines, gas pipelines, going west through the Arabian Peninsula, right up to Israel, right up to our Mediterranean ports, and you've just done away with the choke points for forever. That is definitely possible. So I see that as a real change that will follow this war. But I also see this war ending a lot faster than people think.
First of all, I just want to say I'm alive and you're all
in war, you have
witnesses.
to grit your teeth. Churchill said,
Oh, brother. Churchill
democracies
said.
suffer from the slumber of democracies, as he called it. And they only wake up, he said, they may wake up only when they hear the gong, the jarring gong of danger, is the way he put it. Well, you're hearing the jarring gong of danger. The jarring gong of danger is Iran gets nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles.
I think the entire world knows that Iran is a more stable actor than Israel. Iran doesn't have nukes, but should get nukes. That's my assessment for the record, so that the world is more stable. And Israel is infinitely more dangerous with the nukes that it currently has.
Danger in time. But leaders are tasked with the task of seeing danger in time and acting on it. And I hope that in time, people will see the wisdom and the courage of President Trump's decision and his leadership, and the fact that we're working together. America is not fighting
Yo,
for
the
Israel.
Netanyahu body double
America
doing
is
too
fighting
much?
with
Yeah,
Israel
Big
for a
Yahoo's
common
body
goal,
double's acting
to
out.
protect our future, to protect civilization against these barbarians.
Next question, one question, Guy Azriel from I-24 News.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Guy Azriel, I-24 News. President Trump said today he did not like the Israeli strike on the Iranian gas fields. My question to you, was the president aware of Israel striking that gas field? Did you approve it? And please, if you may, do you see any signs that the Iranian regime is collapsing? And what assurances do you give the Israeli public that if it does stand on its feet, we will not see another wave of a war with Iran in maybe 5 or 10 years?
Well, I'll say two things. Fact number one, Israel acted alone against the Slawiya gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. What do we see? What happens if are there any signs that the
First, Unit 8200 Barak Ravid literally said Israel and America did this joint strike together, by the way. So,
But will I tell you?
too
will I
late
commit
now.
Right now that it's going to collapse. I can tell you that we're working to create the conditions for it to collapse. But it may survive. It may not. If it survives, it'll be a lot weaker. There's no comparison. It'll be at its weakest point, shorn of industries that it built over decades, death industries, shorn of many other capabilities that they have, and equipped with the experience, with the knowledge that if they try it again, they'll be hit again even harder. I cannot tell you of the technological developments that we are engaged in to anticipate this and other possibilities. But Israel has shown that it can do wondrous things. And in partnership with our American allies, we can do amazing things. Amazing things. As Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said, these are the two most amazing air forces in the world. It's the two most amazing intelligence services in the world. It has the capabilities to
joined at the hip.
confront these barbarians and to outstrip them, both in innovation.
Yeah, Big Yahoo's Big Yahoo's now saying, "Oh, they didn't know, and we won't do it again." The Israelis reply, "Trump knew. We're joined to the hip in this." Contrary to Trump's statements, senior Israeli and U.S. officials have said that the United States had prior knowledge of the Israeli strike and even approved it in an attempt to pressure Iran. After the Iranians retaliated against Qatar's gas fields, Trump is now changing course. Hey guys, how do you like the fucking fuel prices, by the way? Do you guys enjoy it? Because the real president of the United States of America, Big Yahoo, wanted you to suffer. Okay, remember that.
A lot.
And our little president, Donald Trump, allowed it to happen because he's a fucking bitch. Okay?
Volumes, I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History. Very brief, 100-page book.
I like
In
walking.
which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough,
What the fuck is this guy talking
Overcome
about?
good.
Genghis Khan. Okay, dude, whatever. I'm bored of the president talking. I hate the president. I hate our real president. I hate our chud-ass real president, dude. He fucking sucks. Clearly a better president than ours, though, because he does have free healthcare for his citizens. Not us, of course. Anyway, our response to Israel's attack on our infrastructure employed fraction of our power. The only reason for restraint was requested the escalation. Zero restraint of our infrastructures are struck again. Any end to this war must address the damage to our civilian sites. Oh, there's also a dollar counter here that we haven't talked about. Everything that they strike, Iran absolutely has the right and the responsibility to demand restitution for, compensation for, reparations. That's the other side of the story as well, which they probably will ask for, understandably. Everything that Israel is blowing up, we have to pay for. We're paying for it with our tax dollars already. With the weapons that are being used, because those are our weapons, right? Those are our munitions. And then on top of that, they're going to demand us pay compensation. They're going to demand that we pay reparations for the shit that we blew up. This is a fraction of what's going on right now, by the way. Watch. Let's take a look at what Scott Bessent had to say. Mr. Treasury. Let's see what he had to say about releasing some of the sanctions piece by piece on Iran.
Effort. We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there. And there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next.
Oh, glorious. Fucking glorious. We're going to release the Iranian sanctions so that we actually hurt the Iranians is a fantastic, fantastic gambit. Masterful gambit, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what also helps Iran? The fact that their oil tankers are the only ones that can cross through the Strait of Hormuz right now. as the price of the oil barrel has also skyrocketed. You know who this helps? Russia. You know who this helps? Iran. Ironically enough. Now that the Strait of Hormuz is closed effectively and the price of fucking crude has gone up, every single barrel that Iran is capable of selling to the rest of the world is even more expensive. And therefore, they're making even more money. 5D chess here, okay? It's awesome. For the record, we should have never been fucking sanctioning the shit out of Iran to begin with and like starving its economy. This fucking dipshit literally celebrated that. Openly said that the reason why there is discontent in Iran right now, the reason why there are mass protests in Iran right now is because we effectively starved out their economy. We destroyed their regular, ordinary people's normal existence in the country. He said it. He said it. Remember. And now, forcibly, Iran is recovering those lost assets, the economic damage, piece by piece.
10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign.
Iran sets up approved shipping corridor through Hormuz. Iran is allowing select vessels to pass through the Strait of Hormuz along the routes inside its territorial waters after their prior approval, with at least one tanker reportedly paying $2 million for transit, according to Lloyd's list. At least 9 ships have already used the route near Larak Island, where the IRGC-linked authorities verify vessels. Governments including India, China, Pakistan, Iraq, and Malaysia are coordinating transit requests directly with Tehran. Lloyd's list reports Iran is moving to formalize the system. Ship owners must submit detailed ownership and cargo information in advance, often via intermediaries, to register for clearance, with vessels tied to the U.S. or Israel excluded. Traffic remains minimal, with just 15 transits recorded from March 15th to 17th, about 90% tied to Iran-linked trade or ownership. So now they're collecting a toll for pass-through, for safe clearance through the Strait of Hormuz. Not only have they effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz, as we've talked about already, they are now rerouting vessels through one of their islands to collect a fucking toll. Incredible. Yeah. RIP Australia, I guess. My dumbass government is helping the USA so we won't get to make a deal for safe passage around. Fucking idiots. You'll see. I think that things will change. This is also part of the reason why Iran is directly communicating, from what I understand, with the French and the German and the British governments. I mean, maybe not the British one, actually, but they're definitely talking to the French government and the German government. Iran, by force, is getting the European vassals to decouple from America. Iran is utilizing capitalism to its advantage. The weakness of capital is that endless profits may flow. And if your goal is to keep this entire system together, a fragile system, as Iran has shown, okay, and you have to abide by your capital masters, your capital owning masters, you have to sometimes cut a deal with Iran. You have to forcibly decouple from the United States of America. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Truly. It's a brilliant move. None of these guys were going to do it, even if America turned around and said, we're going to fucking take Greenland. It's clear. European capital owners straight up showed their asses in that last bout when they were like, wait, what do you mean, Mr. President? Why would you take over Greenland forcibly? Why would you forcibly annex Greenland? It's your territory already. Like, why would you do that? Why would you embarrass us openly? Right? And they were able to cause America to stand down, right? For a brief moment. But the damage was already done. But it wasn't enough. Mertz and all the fucking Eurocucks like Rutte still went back to the United States of America, still kept calling America daddy over and over again. And then America went in with Israel and did this thing and collapsed the energy markets. And now Iran has effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz and is by force, one, showing what kind of damage it can do to American assets in the region, delivering blow after blow to the confidence that America had, or the confidence that allies had in American security assurances. And also, last but not least, collecting a fucking toll in the process and forcibly decoupling European vassal states from America, because European vassals also have their own capital masters. And when the order of global capital is disrupted this way, nation states remember that they have their own national interests. Yeah, the toll here, they openly stated it yesterday. They're planning to levy a 10% toll on all ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. This will generate $73 billion a year, completely offsetting U.S. sanctions and paying for war damages.
Talking about leveling a tax, a toll on ships. You know, in normal times, about $2 billion worth of goods pass through a Strait of Hormuz every day. So if you have a 10% toll, that would be $200 million. That would bring Iran about $73 billion a year. And that would be enough to offset the illegal sanctions that the country is going through. That would be enough.
This is racketeering, eh? Are they taking payments in dollars? I don't know if they're taking the payments in dollars. They floated the idea of trading on the Chinese yuan, but I don't even think China wants that to happen. So I don't know if they just like kind of dropped that. But are they only regardless. The point is, people can say this is illegal all day, every day, but you know what else is illegal? Doing a decapitation strike on a fucking sovereign nation state, blowing up its energy grid, engaging in chemical warfare. So, sorry, sucks to fucking suck. You dropped it. You cannot fucking say, you cannot turn around and say, oh, why won't they abide by international law? They are dictating the terms of international law. If might is right, and this is something that I kept repeating, right? If might is right is the way of the land, if we're operating on those rules, then sometimes there will be another country out there who's crazy enough to fucking fight back, and then they rewrite the rules at their behest, at their to their benefit. This is a moment. You can't fucking complain about it. Okay? I know that for many Americans, we're so used to dominating other countries, right? That there's almost this weird entitlement, this selfish attitude where we're like, what do you mean you're fighting back against us? That's illegal. How dare you? How dare you blow up our military bases? This is something that I kept hearing from the Gulf states and America over and over again. They were like, Iran is fighting back against all of its regional neighbors. Why are they doing that? It's like, well, why the fuck do you think? You can't put American military bases and then engage in American military action against a fucking sovereign state and not expect them to retaliate. What the fuck's wrong with you? Fuck legality and fuck the rules of shipping and free trade fabricated by the pirate, looter, plundering, colonial, inhuman, parasite bastards to uphold super profit extraction for the global majority. True. This is what anti-imperialism looks like, by the way. And sometimes it's not going to be conducted by guys that are ideologically committed. Sometimes it's a mechanism of survival. This is a matter of survival for Iran. It's a matter of maintaining their dignity, maintaining their sovereignty. They are well within their rights to do this. Okay? This is what happens. This is what fucking happens when you go toe to toe with a country that's, backed into a corner where they have to fight their way out of it. Okay? You know what's crazy about it too? All the while all of this fucking chaos is unfolding, okay? Israel is still trying to rape southern Lebanon. America is still trying to actively starve Cuba. Like, that's how evil empire is, okay? There are real human casualties on the other side of this that we don't even consider. The Israeli forces are still dominating the lives of regular Palestinians in the West Bank. All of this must be put to an end, okay? Western imperialism must be held to account. Western imperialism must be brought to heel. It's that fucking simple. That's it. Iran is distracting from the Lebanon annexation. I think the Hezbollah, the Hezi boys are doing their best to defend their land. Again, well within their right to do so. They're a non-state actor. Obviously, they don't get a lot of positive coverage for that reason. It's easy to just say they're terrorists, they're terrifying, they're terrorists, they're bad. The reality of the matter is they are the de facto standing military of Lebanon, because the Lebanese military is not doing shit to defend their own fucking lands, as Israel is openly communicating that they will annex and even turn into Gaza, southern Lebanon in its entirety. Okay? So yeah, they have every right to defend themselves. They have every right to defend their lands. And they have every right to use ATGMs on those $30 million Merkava tanks piece by fucking piece, as the Israeli government keeps repeating. There has been a massive security incident in southern Lebanon over and over again, every single fucking night. They have the right. What the fuck are we doing? Don't fuck around. I'm going to be honest, it looks like Israel knows it lost the public opinion battle, and now they know this is their last chance to do whatever they want. This means they now do maximum evil and take as much land as they can while the Trump presidency lasts. Yeah, but that's also a fucking major misstep, is my point. Okay? That's a major mistake, as demonstrated by the retaliation. It's the same principle behind the final solution and trying to invade Moscow, right? It's a fascist state where collapse is imminent, and they're trying to do this like one last big hurrah. They're spread too thin. America is also spread too thin. And that's why you're seeing $2 trillion in R&D light on fucking fire all of a sudden. That's why you're seeing this country that we have starved for decades, this country we have dominated economically for decades, turn around and say, all right, fuck you. You carved out this path for us, and it offered us a moment of resilience. Because here's the other thing. Iran is not an anti-capitalist country, right? There were anti-capitalist elements in its popular revolution that took place, but that was fucking 47 years ago. Iran is not an anti-capitalist country. Iran is not a communist country. Iran is not a socialist country. They have, modest social democracy of sorts, certainly, but they're not ideologically communist at all. However, they are much more resilient to the financial pressures because they have had to exist for 47 years outside of the confines of the international marketplace. That is the reason why they can just as easily strike at the core of capital without experiencing the blowback themselves, or at least the blowback that they experience is marginal in comparison to the maximum damage that they are causing to international markets, because we made them that way. The conditions that we subjected Iran to have given them, have forced them into finding alternative markets, have forced them to diversify their economy. We have created their preparation. We have created their conditions for preparation as they collapse the global energy markets. We did that. And we could only get away with it for decades because no one ever fought back. Okay? Because no one with the actual capabilities of striking a serious blow at the heart of capital ever fought back. We bit off more than we could chew. Do you understand? Disarmed all their neighbors systematically over the years, and now there's no one to oppose them now. Yeah. This was, I think, what Yahya Sinwar thought would happen maybe a month or 2 months or maybe a year after October 7. Okay? That is why the operation was called the Al-Aqsa Flood, right? He thought that he would force Iran's hand to recognize that America and Israel were going to come down and successfully defang the entirety of the resistance that Iran had spent millions of dollars, billions of dollars really, building for decades. Iran didn't do it. Iran didn't do it until they were truly backed into a corner with no other way out but to fight. In a way that is not dissimilar to the Palestinians in Gaza. That's precisely what the point was. That's precisely what I told you over and over again after October 7. I told you that if you back people into a fucking corner their whole lives, if you ritualistically humiliate them, if you dominate them, if you turn them into colonial subjects in this hermetically sealed open air prison, eventually they're going to fight their way out. You back them into a corner, you cause them to fight their way out of that corner. And that was precisely what happened on October 7. And that is, ironically, precisely what's happening right now with Operation Epstein's Fury. Years from now, once the dust is settled, we will look back at that as the end of American imperialism, in my opinion. That moment is the end of American imperialism. It will be the first domino. If you want to go back even further, it was actually the handover from foreign policy being handed over to Israel entirely on Trump 1. That was the start of the Palestinian Resistance Front recognizing that they were completely written out of the equation, that they were going to face death no matter what. The Abraham Accords, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, greatly accelerating the demise of Palestinians in the West Bank. That is what caused the Palestinian Resistance Front to design a way out of this situation, to make the Israeli occupation as costly as possible. Wall Street Journal opinion piece talking shit about Hassan again. Lol, you made them big mad. Democrats are too cozy with the Piker. There's no excuse for failing to call the anti-Semitism on the left. I know. We're going to read that later.
To pay for damages after a few years. I think damages are quite extensive. So it wouldn't be able to pay for all the damages in the first year, but eventually it will pay for the damages. So Iran is not going back to the old days of just suffering under sanctions while others benefit from the oil wealth in this part of the world. That's, I think, a decision that has been made. The country's leader mentioned this in the statement that he released the other day.
So Sinwar was the only one of the resistance axis who understood Israel in the West? Yes. Yahya Sinwar, first of all, this is something that the Israelis also readily admit. Yahya Sinwar was in Israeli prison for most of his life, and he learned Hebrew, and he actually translated a lot of Hebrew works into Arabic as well. He developed relationships with a a famous Israeli dentist while he was in prison. Anyone who is like remotely competent, whether they're Israeli or not, doesn't matter, will openly say that Yahya Sinwar truly understood Israeli society. Okay? He did. And absolutely, like Hasan Nasrallah is, people say I'm anti-Semitic for this. I say Hasan Nasrallah was a brilliant tactician as well. But Hasan Nasrallah was far more restrained. And I think at the end did not fully comprehend the true evil. Maybe they were a little bit too materialist, as a matter of fact. Hasan Nasrallah, I think, believed that Israel wouldn't go as far as it did because they would not blow up international markets, right? In the way that we're seeing unfold right now. Same with Ali Khamenei. I'm not a believer in the great man theory, but there are, even till his last breath, Hasan Nasrallah probably thought, oh, Israel's not crazy enough to do this. And then he was assassinated. He was martyred, right? As much as I also believe in dialectical and historical materialism, fascism operates on different boundaries, and one must recognize that. Yeah, the legend says that martyr Imad Mughnieh was once asked if Israel were to assassinate Syed Hasan Nasrallah, what would happen? He replied while laughing, they would have assassinated the most rational person among us. The same thing happened with Largiani. Israel assassinated Largiani. Everyone started writing all these reports about how he was one of the more rational, one of the more pragmatic actors. That, like, how could Israel assassinate one of the only people that that had the capacity to communicate with the West and had the interest in negotiating with the West, basically destroying another off-ramp for America. Because, evet. So that was the analysis. The guy who replaced him, I looked into his background, is even more of a hardliner. He's pro-nukes. The guy who replaced Largiani is pro-nukes and pro-mandatory hijab. So the IRGC, every time a leader is assassinated, the guy that takes his place is even more of a hardliner. So it's very clear how the IRGC is operating here. Their contingency is going in the opposite direction, not like showing over and over again. Okay? Showing over and over again, you kill us, it doesn't matter. The guy that replaces the person that you kill is going to be even more aggressive in their stance against Western imperialism. That's it. That's why they assassinate them. They want figureheads who can be portrayed as backwards barbarians. Yeah, brother, but it's pretty obvious that Iran has a talent pool that is very fucking deep as far as like people who are not backwards barbarians at all. These are very well-read people. Also, it doesn't even fucking matter, because no matter how sophisticated your weaponry is, no matter how expensive your munitions are, it's very clear that Iran is capable of engaging in asymmetrical warfare and making America and the rest of the global markets hurt. Yeah. Iran will drown the West with an infinite human wave of Kantian scholars and tenured Quranic economists. When you look at Chinese PhDs, a lot of them are like STEM lords, whatever, right? But then they also have like a doctorate in Marxist-Leninism. And in Iran, it's really funny. If you look at their background, it's always like, Kantian scholars that have a doctoral thesis on like Quranic scripture in the Western world. Analysts suggest Iran may have a strategic reserve as many as 500 million bureaucrats and public officials with widely cited PhD theses. Iran has the capability to produce more analytical papers on German idealism than our academic system is capable of rejecting, and risks exhausting the editors of every major academic journal within 2 to 3 weeks. Every single guy that is in the Iranian government right now is in their like 60s, or if they get killed, then they're going to be in their 50s. Every single one of them has fought in the Iran-Iraq war at the age of like 15. Okay. If you want to understand their background, it's always dudes who fought in the Iran-Iraq war at the age of like 15 and then got like 8 PhDs. Every single one of these motherfuckers. They have combat experience, and they are also highly educated. This is, so, you know, the assassinations don't matter too much. What is this? Didn't they shoot like 7,000 to 35,000? No, they didn't shoot 35,000. Civilian protesters, how are they liberal at all? They're not. Liberalism is done. We're not talking about the boundaries of liberalism anyway. Look at what liberalism has brought. Genocide, maximum genocide in fucking Gaza. A live-streamed Holocaust. That's what liberalism brought you. Liberalism is over. Okay? It's done. Wake up. Stop associating liberalism with a force of good, okay? It's crazy. States are invested in sovereignty and self-preservation. The American liberal state is invested in maximum domination of the global south at the behest of capital. It only took 100 years, but liberalism is dead once again. Okay? 100 years ago, when liberalism was being developed, it fell apart. What came was a wave of social democracies, fascism, and communism. And then America went to war with communism. Cold War happened. Cold War ended. Accelerated liberal capitalism for like since the 90s, for the last 3 decades, 4 decades. And now liberalism is failing once again. It's over. It's dying again. Even Fukuyama, Mr. End of History, has openly admitted 2 key principles were wrong. Okay? The end of history was wrong. That history has not ended. That liberalism is not going to thrive. And 2, that nation states that demand sovereignty must develop nukes. Those are 2 key things that I have been a believer of for at least the past decade. You got the number one dick rider of liberalism openly recognizing that both of those principal theories were completely fucking wrong. That they were abject failures. So if the top scholars are recognizing that, you know, it's over, their most significant contributions to academia were wrong, you can keep holding on to the crumbs here and try to defend it, but it's done. It's over. Thought you changed your mind on nukes? I did, which is why I'm saying for the last decade, my mind has changed on nukes. According to statements by Israeli and American military officials, 320% of Iran's missile launches have been destroyed so far. They're also shitposting on American websites, which is even funnier. However, Iran continues to launch missiles at a high rate. Now the enemy aims to destroy up to 500% of them, a unique achievement for the U.S. military. Speaker of Iran's parliament mocks U.S. claims about the destruction of the missile launch capability. So what do you do? What do you do? If the world is changed, you have to change with it. If you don't, you die. It's that simple. America thinks it can still operate on yesterday's boundaries. America thinks, and this same thing goes for Zionists as well. Zionists in America still operate with like 2003 narratives, right? They still think they can just say like, oh, don't you dare defy Israel's demands. What are you, anti-Semitic? And everyone looks at them and goes, I wasn't before you said this, but now I might be, right? And it's precisely the same dynamic at play here. America thinks might is right. Politics favors them. Yeah, this was Yahya Sinwar in a 2018 interview. Criticizing the international community, Sinwar said Gaza only ever received attention when there's violence and blood. But the problem is not the resistance, but rather the occupation. Did you see the video where the soldier shoots at us and keeps laughing? He asked. Once they, the Jewish people, used to be like Freud, Einstein, Kafka. They were famous for their mathematics and philosophy. Today, only for the drones. What a shame. Did you see Zoran's wife's base post? I did. And I already defended. Pod Bros radicalization has been interesting to watch. Yeah. In this op-ed, Third Way actually argues that Epstein class is an age-old trope pushed by Jew haters on the left. Yeah, they're mad. This is Third Way Jim Kessler. We're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Brother, you got no motion. Who the fuck cares about Third Way, dude? Third Way has no real base. Never really had a base in the party anyway. But they just keep. They said Hasan said tax the Jews. Wait, ain't no fucking way they said that. Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs recommended barring Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji, from entering Israel, citing her social media activity. Douaji has not expressed any plans to visit Israel. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, no. Oh, no. She can't visit the apartheid state that's doing a genocide, that's getting peppered with fucking... peppered with cluster munitions right now. Oh no. She only lives in one of the best cities on the fucking planet. Oh no. I'm sure that will be devastating. Leave it the Third Way to call on Democrats to drop something very popular with voters, calling out Epstein's enablers, and to instead do something very unpopular, defending unconditional taxpayer dollars for Israeli war crimes. And they say progressives give Dems bad advice. Did you see China also hitting the you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? Update. China says peaceful reunification will solve Taiwan's energy crisis amid Iran war. I told you. I told you this too. What did I say? Day one, frame one. What did I fucking say? What did I fucking say? I said... this will also cause Taiwan to reconsider its allegiance with China. Taiwan doesn't have gas. Taiwan needs gas. Taiwan doesn't have natural gas. Taiwan needs natural gas for its chip manufacturing. What did I tell you? Taiwan doesn't have oil. China has oil. What did I tell you? Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today. Okay? Piker Broadcasting Service. This is why y'all fucking pay me the big bucks. Okay? This is it. And also, it's so funny. U.S. intelligence believes China prefers taking control of Taiwan without force. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's again, another thing that I've been saying for years and years. Oh my God. Shocking. What? You mean to tell me the official state position on Taiwan, peaceful reunification, is, it turns out, the actual Chinese play? What? What? Because of you, I changed a guy's mind about this yesterday at the DSA? What? No way. So you mean to tell me when the Chinese government openly says that for years and years, as its long-standing policy, that turns out that was the case? Turns out that was the truth? Chad Weihua in the replies. Why are you saying China taking over Taiwan is peaceful? Oh my God. Amerifats. Amerifats. Wake up. Wake up, Amerifats. I beg you. Wake up to the realities. Wake up to the fucking realities, Amerifats. Wake up now. Not tomorrow. Wake up now, okay? Wake up. The burger heads are confused. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's just we cause all this chaos around the world, and then like our foreign military base is slammed to the ass cheeks of China is going to have different considerations about reunifying with China, a much more stable partner, as we are like America's unnecessarily waging war. All the while, you still have liberals with their hardliner positions on advancing American imperialism when America's allies all around the world are seeing the reality for what it is. You can fucking complain all day, every day. You can complain, you can cry, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay? But the toothpaste is out of the motherfucking tube, baby. Is out of the tube. Is this a GIF link? Okay. All right, we'll read this. We'll read this in a second. However, today, Taiwan rejects China's energy security offer. Yeah, they're stupid. Don't worry about it. What matters is what the Taiwanese people think, okay? What matters is what the people of Taiwan think. And every single day. Did you see XQC fangirl over your Vanity Fair photo? I did not. That's surprising. What is this? It was an American Excalibur GPS guided munition. Oh, you're talking about the one that struck the British journalist that works for Russia Today. Yeah, we'll cover that in a second. Another war crime, by the way. Anyway, let's finish this.
And that might
and
feel
I'm
like
pee
a
and I'll
bit
be
of a
back.
pivot because
and then
all
we'll
the
cover
talk
the attacks I'm receiving from Third Way.
up to this point was about the Strait of Hormuz. Have we forgotten about the Strait? Well, no, two reasons for that. The first is that some of the explanation offered for Israel's targeting of the gas field is that it was meant to signal that Israel could expand its attacks on Iran's energy infrastructure if Iran continues disrupting maritime trade and energy flows through the Strait of Hormuz. And the second is the US has been striking Iranian assets there too, the similar sort of goal. And that doesn't appear to have made much of a difference. There are still strikes happening over recent days there and there. So what you still have is that ships are still stuck. There's the strikes that are still happening. The oil price is still rising. And the escalation by Israel probably makes that situation even thornier, because Iran is also maintaining a steady if diminished tempo of attacks. Now, this shows missiles and drones, missiles in yellow, drones in blue, attacks by Iran on the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. Total of 3,000 or so, so much less than the US and Israel together, around 16,000 they've claimed. You can see this big opening salvo. It has declined, it has diminished, but there is a steady rate, and it might even be creeping up. And this is asymmetric warfare. It only takes a few missiles, a few drones to block a strait or to turn off energy infrastructure. And the US today acknowledged Iran retains capability with its missiles. So 3 weeks nearly into this war, its ultimate outcome seems less clear.
Nah, no way. Really? No way. What? You don't say. Who could have foreseen this, boys? I certainly could not have. Watch the XQC clip. It's funny. Sure. You should get litigious. That was a hit piece. Okay, y'all need to fucking calm down. It's literally the most no motion ass bullshit. It's the third way. The guys who wrote this for the Wall Street Journal are basically leaning into the institutional legitimacy of the Wall Street Journal. I will fight back, not through like litigation, but I'll fucking write another op-ed. You know what I mean? Either for the Wall Street Journal, or maybe I'll write an op-ed for the New York Times. Who knows? Okay, I'll deal with it. I don't have enough time right now because I'm fucking going to Cuba. All right, I'm a little bit busy. I don't know if you guys are aware. One, we're monitoring the situation, and two, I'm going to fucking Cuba. Okay. But this is it. By the way, ironic because it's called Free Expression, is a daily newsletter on American life, politics, and culture. It's called Free Expression. The title is Democrats are too cozy with Hasan Piker. There's no excuse for failing to call out the anti-Semitism on the left. Okay, yeah, Cuba can wait. You have to respond to this wonkery ASAP. Anyway. As lifelong Democrats, we agree with Senator Ted Cruz on virtually nothing. Good start. But Mr. Cruz was brave to decry anti-Semitism in the Republican Party. Mr. Cruz was also a big name, calling Tucker Carlson the single most dangerous demagogue in this country. Too few Democrats have followed Mr. Cruz's lead by calling out the rising anti-Semitism on the far left. That must change. The anti-Semitism spewed by Mr. Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and other far-right bigots is well documented and widely condemned. But the far left has anti-Semites too. No left-wing agitator is more influential or extreme than Twitch streamer Hasan Piker. Mr. Piker is often called a progressive, but that does violence to the term. A self-identified Marxist, he is referred to ultra-Orthodox Jews as inbred, employed anti-Semitic dog whistles, bloodthirsty, violent pig dog against an anti-Hamas viewer on his stream, compared liberal Zionists to liberal Nazis, and said, Hamas is 1,000 times better than the Israeli state. I love that they were like, they led in with Ted Cruz. You know, guys who know how to read the fucking room, baby. Guys who know how to read the room. Hey, you know what the Democrats are supposed to do? Fucking drop a voice that is very clearly identifying the popular movement in the heart of the party for what really? For defending Israel. Yeah, I don't think they should do that. Yeah, I don't think they should do that. I don't know. Obviously, this is an incredible smear, incredible slander. Okay. As someone who has spent every single day and will continue to spend every single other day combating anti-Semitism, it's very funny when they try to do this vicious smear, but it's completely nonsensical. And perhaps even worse, everyone knows that it's nonsensical, because most people realize nowadays that if you say anti-Israel shit, there's going to be a million fucking think pieces on how you're actually anti-Semitic. But most Americans already know that that's bullshit. What's worse is there are actual anti-Semites out there who are taking advantage of this media landscape. And the more that these institutions like the ADL and all these other people, like the more they also tie me back to Nick Fuentes, the more they do a disservice to the term anti-Semitism, okay? I've spent a tremendous amount of time combating anti-Semitism, decoupling Israel from Jewish people, okay? Decoupling Zionism from Judaism. I can't expect every person on the planet to have spent 6 years almost daily in this community, but it legitimately drives me insane to see this half-ass shit-slinging. As someone who's here all the time as a Jewish community member, I know anti-Semitism when I see it. And if I thought you were the community were anti-Semitic, I wouldn't be a 63-month sub. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's narcissistic. It's paranoid. It's idiotic. It dilutes the term. It ironically contributes to actual real anti-Semitism being fomented. And these guys don't understand that they are now in the echo chamber, not us. Okay? But there's a different tool for this, for the record. There's a different reason for why they're writing this article. And I'll tell you what it is. It's not even because they want to like defend Israel. Former Biden press secretary boosted this, to 14 total likes. Hell yeah. Former spokesman for the First Lady, Michael LaRosa. These guys have lost their power in the party, and that's why they're lashing out. It's not just about demanding that the Democrats become pro-Israel. That's one aspect of this story. The other aspect of the story is that third-way neoliberalism is now openly seen as a fucking failed attitude that is responsible for the Democrats losing to Trump twice. They know that the base has rejected third-way neoliberalism. And that's why they're trying to do this. Mr. Piker's depravity doesn't stop there. His misogyny is indistinguishable of the far-right influencers. He believes America deserved 9/11. He praised the Chinese Communist Party, saying, in terms of good governance, there's a lot we can learn from the way they perform out there. Again, totally endorsing these statements. Don't know why they said misogyny when talking about this, but what is misogynistic about this other shit? What is this? Oh my God, they're posting this. They're posting bro tips. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, Mr. Piker is anti-American, anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs. This isn't happening. The Pod Save America team put him on stage at CrookedCon. Abdul El-Sayed, a candidate for Senate in Michigan, tweeted a picture of himself celebrating Piker with a supporter. California Representative Ro Khanna, a possible presidential hopeful, pushed back on X against concerns we raised about anti-Semitism on the far left, declaring his pride in going on Mr. Piker's feed. Mr. Piker chimed in to support him. Handing Mr. Piker a microphone isn't magnanimous or respectful of views that test your priors. Going on a show isn't a sign of bravery or willingness to talk to the other side or to show up in challenging places. All these things do is support a bigot, but few dare to speak that truth. By the way, the guys that are saying I'm a bigot are the guys that I yell at all the time who do so much work to make the Democrats drop any kind of social progressive value. Okay? I'm the bigot, not them. The guys that tell the Democrats, you shouldn't worry about abortion rights. You shouldn't worry about trans rights. You should worry about, continuing to offer shitty, bottom-of-the-barrel, third-way neoliberal positions to the American public that has no appetite for this whatsoever. Okay? But few dare speak that truth. The only prominent Democrat to call out Mr. Piker's bigotry directly so far is New York Representative Richie Torres. Again, a blossoming figure of progress in the heart of the party that truly understands. Have you guys noticed that Richie Torres shut the fuck up about Israel? Very strange how he's also stopped being Israel's biggest attack dog. The other Democrats must follow suit. They bring up Richie Torres' idiotic letter to Twitch. Left-wing anti-Semites are savvier than the Nazi endorsers on the right who marched in Charlottesville and sat for dinner with the president. The anti-Semites of the left cloak their attacks in critiques of the present Israeli leadership. Many American Jews, including us, abhor Israel's current leaders. Criticism of Israeli policy isn't anti-Semitic. The Israeli-Hamas war was a humanitarian catastrophe for Gazans. Oh shit, you scared the fuck out of me. What is all that? Okay. No, I don't want it. Hello, Kaya. The Israel-Hamas war was a humanitarian catastrophe for Gaza, and settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank is appalling. But the Jew haters on the left go much further. They use loaded words taught in social justice seminars: apartheid, genocide, settler colonialism. They push age-old tropes about Jewish wealth and influence, Epstein class, turning tax the rich into tax the Jews. And they replace the word Jew with Zionist, which, by the way, I didn't do this, and I would never do this. And it turns out this was one random psycho and had nothing to do with DSA San Francisco, for the record, that story. But whatever, they're fucking lying anyway, so they'll continue lying. And they replace the word Jew with Zionist. This language is more than offensive. It can beget violence. Last year, an alleged murderer seemingly inspired by left-wing rhetoric killed 2 people for the crime of being at the Capitol Jewish Museum. That's a crazy way to explain that story. Democrats must understand that accepting anti-Semitic figures like Mr. Piker into the mainstream puts Jewish Americans' lives in danger. There's no excuse for putting political tribalism before Jewish safety, or for overlooking hatred to generate likes online, or for failing to act against the surge of anti-Semitism spread by the Hasan Pikers of the world and normalized by too many on the Democratic side. We are all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Let's look at the comments now. Hi, Randy's husband here. I bristle at the comments that many American Jews abhor Israel's current leaders. This one does not. The October 7 attacks make clear that the Iranian axis is only prepared to deal with Israel on a violent basis. Okay. I applaud the authors for calling out Mr. Piker as well as Tucker Carlson's anti-Semitism. Yes, Mr. Piker's anti-Semitism on the left is no different than Mr. Carlson on the right. It's so easy to blame the Jews for everything. So much is jealousy. Okay. Wall Street Journal is so fucking... so unimaginably right-wing. It's a right-wing shithole over there in the comments. Here's a thought. If you're a Democrat, as the authors claim to be, don't vote for the party that hates your ethnicity and wants to see you and your countrymen eliminated. Yeah, vote for the Republicans, the party that is known for not hating Jews, the party that is currently is trying to figure out if the Holocaust really happened, or if it did happen, how deserved was it? That's the party you should vote for, American Jews. Totally. The war in Gaza may be a humanitarian disaster, but Gazans put themselves in that place. Oh my God, there's not even a single fucking person in here that except maybe Lynn Hayes. I'm a person of Jewish ancestry. Many of my ancestors were murdered in the Holocaust, so I feel authorized to complain when people compare anti-Israel sentiment to anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is hatred against Jewish people. Like myself, anti-Israel sentiment is anger against Israel's aggression towards its neighbors. So this has H3 written all over it. No, dude, no one fucking gives a shit about Ethan Klein. This is totally separate. If you think this has anything to do with Ethan Klein, you're out of your fucking mind. So I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. Okay, sounds like slander. You might have to talk to a lawyer. Man, shut up. No, it's slander, but it doesn't fucking matter. Okay. And you need to understand, this is the most low motion, no motion having ass article that could have ever been written. And the reason for why it's written is not even to defend Israel, which is unpopular in and of itself and idiotic in and of itself. The real reason why they're writing this is because Third Way has completely lost its institutional control. Okay? Third Way has lost its institutional control. Kyle agrees with chat. I know. Listen to me. Third Way, for those of you who don't know, which is where this article is written this article is written by a bunch of people that work in a think tank called Third Way. Third Way is basically the post-Bill Clinton think tank that was designed to make the Democratic Party into what you fucking despise. Okay? The Democratic Party that you hate was designed carefully by Third Way. Never heard of Third Way before today, by the way. Yes, I've talked about it before. Sometimes I reference Third Way neoliberalism. Many of you are oblivious to what it is. But they are centrist Democrats, okay? They build themselves as centrist Democrats, right? I said Third way is the exact reason why Democrats lost to incompetent fascists like Trump twice. They can't publicly defend neoliberal corporate centrism, so they lean into another wedge issue, Israel. These guys have no ability to read the room. Neoliberalism and Israel has no base. The reason why they angled this article on the issue of Israel is because they think that if they just say like, oh, this guy's an anti-Israel bigot, which means that he is an anti-Semite, right? That they think they can actually bully politicians from not associating with someone like myself because they're fucking stupid and think that I am almost single-handedly responsible for how much people fucking hate Israel now. Okay? They're dumb. They're dumb. It's that simple. They're stupid. Because if you strike me down, there will be others that will take my place. I am not single-handedly responsible for people hating Israel. You're a fucking idiot if you think that. Do you understand? I'm a megaphone. I'm offering a voice to those who don't get that voice in mainstream media. That's it. That's it. And a lot of people can't comprehend that. They think, oh, this guy's like hypnotizing people. They unironically think this.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
It's that simple. They think that I'm like hypnotizing the masses. They don't realize that the masses have come to this conclusion on their own, and they're actively demanding their elected representatives actually abide by the democratic wishes of the masses. You give these people consent to attack you freely. They know they won't be punished, so they continue to lie. This is different from slop tubers. Brother, I don't think you understand. It's irrelevant and worthless. Okay? Suing someone for defamation is a long, convoluted, and very expensive process there is no reason to entertain it. There's no reason to engage with it. The reason why I don't take this initiative is because they've already lost the battle. Who gives a fuck? They've lost the battle. I spent years and years eating this fucking slander non-stop. What good did that do them? I was deplatformed. I had financial opportunities actively taken away. I was cast aside, made into a fucking pariah because the institutional power that the Zionist lobby had was still intact in the beginning of October 7. But we are not living in that media environment any longer. We're not living in that media environment any longer. It doesn't matter. Less than 2 weeks ago, your organization literally had an entire conference to strategize on how to best kick progressives out of the Democratic Party. How are you complaining about progressives not being big tent enough? This is their goal, and they think this is like the Heritage Foundation, but for the Democratic Party. Dark Woke King going full Alex Jones style to defend you in this video.
MAGA Democrats are getting desperate. They're getting desperate. They're beginning to crash out. They're beginning to lash out. So as you know, leadership of the Democratic Party has been an abysmal failure. You have Chuck Schumer, you have Hakeem Jeffries. These are Democrats who I call Diet MAGA Democrats for a reason. They don't really oppose Trump's illegal and offensive war against Iran. They want to see Iran overthrown because they take a tremendous amount of money from the Israel lobby, right? And there's this whole Democratic consultant complex that basically bolsters those kinds of Democrats. These are Democrats that are swimming in corporate money AI money, Israel lobby money, military industrial complex money, okay? And we just had the perfect encapsulation of this group lashing out. So they decided to go after Hasan Piker in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, okay? It was written by a bunch of third way hacks. Third way is like basically the epicenter of the corporate Democrats. You have this guy, Jim Kessler, he posted it. You have the people who wrote the piece are John Cowan and Lily Cohen. And the title is Democrats Are Too Cozy with Hasan Piker. And in this piece, they go on to viciously smear and libel Hasan Piker in such a disgusting way that frankly I tweeted he should sue them because I think he has a case and I think he could win. In the piece, they say in no uncertain terms, not only is he a raging misogynist, but they call him a, quote, Jew hater, okay? They said this, quote, we're all for a big tent, but...
Bro is reading while driving. That is crazy, bro. Pull over, dog. That's crazy.
The Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side, okay? So, it goes without saying, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. It's absolutely untrue. Hasan literally goes out of his way on a daily basis to stress that criticism of Israel does not equal criticism of Jews, right? Just within the past however long, he posted videos. This is where anti-Semitism comes from. This is the real anti-Semitism. Hasan watches like some racist anti-Semitic guy crash out. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. And it's gotten to the point where when I watch clips of his, sometimes I'll like fucking facepalm a little bit and be like, Hasan, I get it. You don't have to throw clear every time. We know you aren't anti-Semitic. We know that. Like, you don't have to stress that you're not anti-Semitic every time you correctly attack Israel for their genocide and their ethnic cleansing and their apartheid and their fucking crusade to create a greater Israel, which is going on right now, right in front of our eyes, okay? So, just absolutely libelous. You ready for this? So, here is a part of the piece. According to the Wall Street Journal, Hasan saying apartheid, genocide, and Epstein class are all anti-Semitic. You're not allowed to say those words lest you hate Jews. This is so fucking disingenuous. And you know what? Bottom line, this shit doesn't work anymore. You're not gonna like scare people and lie and force them to shut up and not criticize Israel. You're trying to stifle all criticism of Israel. It's very clear what you're doing. And by the way, Epstein class was coined by Ro Khanna, and he uses it to talk about the top 1%.
Also, and John Ossoff. Like, one of the first people that used the term Epstein class was John Ossoff, who is Jewish, by the way. Like, the fuck are we talking about?
Use it to talk about the billionaires and the elites who go to Epstein Island. And that obviously isn't just fucking Jews. There's a shitload of Christians. I'm sure there's a shitload of people who are not religious at all, right? Like, it has nothing to do with Judaism. In fact, when Ro Khanna was recently attacked by the head of the ADL, also they accused him of being anti-Semitic. He was like confused. He was like, hold on, they're attacking me for going after the quote neocons, and they're saying that
Kyle's right. It's almost anti-Semitic. The throat clear about it every time. Also, our dork woke king is going to crash. We got to talk him down from reading and driving. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even realize he was reading and driving. That's a different demon right there.
It's anti-Semitic. Ro Khanna was like, what are you talking about? Like, neocon is a neoconservative ideology which says we should do war to quote-unquote spread democracy. He's like, that has nothing to do with Judaism. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's gotten to the point now where, like, you breathe the wrong way, and they'll accuse you of being an anti-Semite, okay? And it's just bullshit. Nobody's buying it. Now, you ready for this? The final thing I'll leave you with here is somebody decided, okay, let's look into the history of one of these guys who's from Third Way, who's sharing this piece, Jim Kessler, right? He has never once tweeted about the genocide in Gaza. Not once, y'all. Not once. Like, I'm sorry, man. You can do me a favor and go ahead and shut the fuck up forever. You're not a serious person. You're not an intellectual. You're not an analyst. You're not a truth teller. You have no actual ideology other than sucking off the corporations and the Israel lobby and the military-industrial complex.
True.
The future of the Democratic Party is with people like Hasan Piker and Ro Khanna and me and you watching this. When you look at the polling data, it's like a low of what, 3% of Democrats are still supporting Israel, a high of like 13% maybe in the good polls. It is over. The reason they're crashing out is
Bro's doing this in the left lane. Yeah, Alex Jones could never.
because they know nobody likes Israel anymore. And nobody's gonna like Israel again, because the fact of the matter is they are a genocidal.
Yeah, but yeah, I also want to point out that actual anti-Semites make no attempt to defend themselves against anti-Semites because they're fucking anti-Semites. Well, that's not true. Tucker Carlson may or may not be anti-Semitic, but he certainly defends himself. But yeah, Nick Fuentes, literally, whenever people call Nick Fuentes a Jew hater, he's like, of course I hate the Jews. They're demonic entities. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he says. That's what he says. It's crazy. White boy reading while bending the corner, like, whoa.
Apartheid ethno-state. They're currently engaged in a crusade where they're openly creating the Greater Israel Project. They totally obliterated Gaza. They annihilated everybody there. They're going to build a fucking futuristic tech city on top of the skulls of dead babies. They're currently doing pogroms in the West Bank as we speak right now. That's literal. And they're also... They just displaced 700,000 people in southern Lebanon, and they're stealing all of southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. And they're open about this fact, okay? So for you to fucking go after Hasan Piker in this moment, by the way, what happened to like, oh, we got to come together, we got to work together, we have to defeat MAGA. MAGA's like the biggest enemy. Well, apparently, you're putting your middle finger up to what? The 90% of the Democratic base that agrees with Hasan and agrees with people like me? Like, I'm sorry, these dirty tricks are not going to work anymore. These guys are just totally embarrassing themselves. The backlash that I'm seeing to this piece is fucking astronomical. I'm seeing nothing but raw anger. People absolutely flipping out on these vile, repulsive, wretched little cretins who are trying to smear somebody as anti-Semitic, libeling him. And the crux of their argument is, stop saying apartheid, even though Israel is factually engaging in apartheid according to human rights organizations. Stop saying genocide, even though it's factually a genocide and there's literal ICC charges against Netanyahu. And stop saying Epstein class. I'm sorry, bro. It is over. It is done. You guys are losing. You're going to continue to lose. It's fucking embarrassing. And this is why we call you Diet MAGA. You go look at all the shit that Hasan Piker is talking about these days. The overwhelming majority of the time, he's got his sights set on MAGA, on the fascists, on the imperialists, okay? And what are these guys doing? Shooting left, punching left. It's just not going to work anymore. You guys are not in the coalition. You are Diet MAGA Democrats. You are warmonger Democrats. And you are the problem in the party. And you're the reason that Democrats have perpetually lost to Donald Trump in the past, which is the most embarrassing fucking thing I've ever heard of in my life. Okay? Yep. The fact that any Democrats listen to you at all is the problem. You are not Democrats. You are Democrats in name only. So please, do me a favor.
It's a karaoke microphone, not a Hitachi magic wand in the back seat.
And I hope Hasan Piker sues the shit out of you, because he has a phenomenal case, and you guys know you're lying, and you did when you wrote the article.
God damn. Fucking Dark Woke King. I wish Dems fought as hard against the actual opposition party as they do the left wing of their own party. Yeah. I mean, he was cooking. Adam Johnson, centrist wing of the party paid millions by Wall Street and pro-Israel donors to find a manager to talk to. One must always be in search of the manager. Academia, government, corporate America are all sufficiently disciplined. Any remaining holdouts must be smeared and put in line. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is. So what they're trying to do is effectively shut out. What if you got a court to say you're not anti-Semitic? First of all, that's going to be a relatively difficult process anyway, because if the judge identifies the International Holocaust Remembrance Association definition of anti-Semitism, which again, a lot of our legislation is like leaning in that direction right now, then yeah, of course they're going to be like, this is anti-Semitic. Because if you say anti-Israel is anti-Semitism, then yeah, these guys can just run around and say, oh, you're a Jew hater, you're a Jew hater, you're a Jew hater without any sort of pushback. Okay? The reality is they've lost the fucking real court battle, okay? The public court. They've lost it. They can't do that, right? They can't do that at all. They can't change people's attitudes on Israel. So what they're trying to do is make it as annoying as possible. Make it as annoying as possible to openly oppose Israel, to openly oppose its genocide, to openly oppose apartheid, to openly oppose the ideology underpinning the development of the Israeli state, Zionism. Okay? That's all this is. And they can't, and they get a lot of success in this direction. They see a lot of success in this direction. Among Democratic voters, third way is an extreme moral minority on the issue of Israel, but would still like you to believe that they're about expanding the tent of the party they claim to represent. Yeah. They can't do it, so they just chirp. Safe to assume they didn't reach out to you for comment. It's an op-ed. It's not a real article. It's a hit piece written in the form of an op-ed. They don't have any obligations to reach out to me for comment. But the irony, of course, is that they have no real base. They have no popular base here. And all they have is a couple outlets that are willing to offer them the opportunity to write. I used to work at the Holocaust Museum. The leadership there hated you by name, bro. What are you going to do? They have to deal with their own shame. They have to deal with their own shame of knowing exactly how devastating the Holocaust was, while simultaneously using their position of authority, their knowledge, to justify the current one. Okay? If they had the capacity to feel shame, they would fucking feel it. What is this? Saudi Arabia video message is now threatening Iran. Oh, God, that's awesome. It's ironic because I can show this video to you because it's the Saudi government's official organ of propaganda. But if I were to show you the Houthi version of this, I would get banned. Just think about that. Iran should retaliate for this video. I mean, Iran is already fucking smoking strato tankers that are stationed on Saudi air bases, so American air bases inside of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, just you wait for the Emiratis to step in. NBC is going to flip his cell phone so hard it brings Iran to his knees. Yeah. Imagine fighting on the side of the U.S. only to have them annex half your land 5 years from now. Yeah, Third Way wrote this. Centrist Dems launched 28 mission. Stop AOC. This is from Holly Otterbein at Axios. This was on March 1st. Third Way, an influential center-left group, is bringing together hundreds of elected officials, party leaders, and operatives here this weekend to build a case for nominating a middle-of-the-road Democrat, not a liberal, for a president in 2028. I'll be honest, man. Democrats, if the National Party still wants to abide by third-way center politics, centrist politics, for no real discernible moderate mythical center that exists in this country. If they want to defend Israel that bad, fuck it. Collapse the government then. Go ahead. You know, what are you going to do? We'll organize against it. Have fun losing. We'll have to work outside of the confines of elections at that point, because you will have created the demise of the state. That's it. That's it. If you are so desperate, to lose once again to fascists, then it's out of our hands, you know? I met a guy who works for Aramco today, and he got out of Saudi right when the bomb started falling. I joked that Aramco won't be there this time next year, and he said, "That's why I'm retiring," in a joyful voice. Yeah, the same person who wrote this piece calling on Dems to exile Israel skeptics from the party was whiling about Vitor and Ben Rhodes shrinking the tent literally a week ago. Rules for thee, not for me. Big tent, but only those who agree with the Pod Save Bros on every single thing. There is no tent for pro-Israel Democrats, man. It's like 10% of the base. It's like 10%. It's not even like, and it's gonna keep shrinking. There's no base in the party. It's so ridiculous. New Reuters Ipsos poll on the Iran war, 37% approve, 59% disapprove. Yeah. And all of that is translated to animosity towards the Zionist entity as well, just so you understand. All of that translates to anger and animosity towards Israel as well. They see it, understandably, as Israel's war, because it is Israel's war. Make no mistake, of course, we are culpable, as always. Especially because America does have the power to bring Israel to heel, or to, at the very least, cut Israel out of the negotiations process. Every moment that they choose not to do that is a moment where they are responsible. Every bomb that we drop on Iranian soil is our failure, our moral failure. Okay? The majority also believe that a war with Iran benefits Israel more than the U.S. Do you think launching a war against Iran generally benefits the United States or Israel more? Out of all likely voters, 29% say it benefits the United States more. 56% say benefits Israel more. Amongst Democrats, 67% say this benefits Israel more, and only 19% say it benefits the United States more. Among independents, it's 24 to 56%. Even among Republicans, only 42% say it benefits the United States more. 47%, the plurality, say it benefits Israel more. Now, understand something. Understand something. For Republicans, when they say it benefits Israel more, they still like that. They're still positive on war with Iran regardless. But it's done. It's over. What have I said for the last year? What have I said? They think the Corbyn model will work on you even after a genocide? Yeah, the UK centrists got their way and purged Labour Party of the left. The Labour Party is now in unprecedented collapse and will likely not even finish in the top 5 largest parties in the next general election. These people are going to destroy the Democrats too. Yeah. What's very telling about the situation is that even though 85+% of Republicans support the war, around half say they don't know what the goals of the war are. Yeah, because they're fucking cattle, they're livestock, they're morons, they're fascist baboons, all of them. Okay? Republicans are fucking cattle. The point is, you can actually offer them favorable domestic policies. If they choose to take it, that's great. If they don't, fuck them. Who cares? It is legitimately insane how narcissistic and paranoid these people are. You can't even talk about the reality of apartheid, genocide, Zionism, or colonialism without them crying about imaginary anti-Semitism. The word has lost all meaning at this point. Yes. The more I'm welcomed by mainstream institutions, the more people don't fucking participate in this like idiotic shit slinging, the more these guys cry. And every time that they cry in a less and less popular direction. Because what have I said for the last year? What have I kept repeating every single day? This is the most popular Israel will be today. Today is the day that Israel will be the most popular it will ever be. Okay? Tomorrow, Israel will be less popular than it was today. Every single day that passes by, Israel's popularity diminishes. It's done. It's over. And we have seen that disapproval rating climb. There's still a lot of room for growth. Do you have a net positive or negative view over Israel? 39% have a negative, 32% have a positive view of Israel. Okay. And negative is up 15 points. Democrats have a 57% negative view of Israel, 13% positive view of Israel. Among independents, only 21% have a positive view of Israel, 48% have a negative view of Israel. Among Republicans, even Republicans only have 54% positive view of Israel and 18% negative view of Israel, with negative actually growing and the positive view going down. It's fucking done. It's over. I don't know why people can't see this reality. They can keep lashing out all day, every day. They can try to get prominent Democrats to disavow me. Go ahead. That's the other side of the story. Go to every single fucking Democrat that has ever appeared on the stream to be like, how dare you talk to this guy? How dare you talk to this guy? Keep finger wagging. If they don't fucking stand down, if they don't actually oppose this kind of like idiotic shit smearing and say, dude, we're not doing this game anymore. This guy is not an anti-Semite. He is an anti-Zionist, and you cannot deal with that. He literally has the popular opinion. Why the fuck would I not go and talk to him? Shut the fuck up. If they don't say that, they lose. The reality of the matter is, and this is another thing that most people don't understand, the guys that are like finger wagging to try to like get the Democrats to sever ties with this dangerous person, me, right? What they don't understand is they need me and this audience more than I fucking need them. I don't need to do fucking interviews with candidates. Get the fuck out of here. I hate doing them. I literally hate doing candidate interviews. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay? It's not good content. I would much rather just sit here and fucking chirp. I don't like doing it at all. I do it because it's important to do it. I do it because I want to help these candidates. Even people I like, yeah. Why do you hate it? They're so interesting. It's great content. I think it's boring. I would much rather monitor the situation, okay? Even Zoran. Yes, even Zoran. A lot of people forget that like the Zoran Mamdani interview, when I did it, was not as enjoyable as all the other things that I've done. People literally leave when I interview candidates. They leave. People leave when I interview candidates. People don't watch those interviews on the VODs. They don't. It's nowhere near as interesting as people fucking watching me cover incidents after the fact or while it's happening. So even from the perspective of like analytics is not necessarily beneficial. It's so true. Whenever we do a candidate interview, it is us mortgaging our audiences to help the cause. It's not something we do to profit law. Exactly. It's not. It's infinitely easier to just sit around. It's the same with like travel streams as well. It's the same principle with like going somewhere else and doing IRL, doing IRL broadcast, things like that. People don't like this. The audience doesn't respond as positively to it. And it's kind of funny that people don't recognize that, where they think like, oh, dude, I'm doing this not as a favor to the candidate because I believe in this person and I want them to succeed, but instead the candidate is doing me a fucking favor. No, the fuck they're not. Anyway, this is as blunt as it gets. Privately, Israeli officials are saying Iranian protesters will be slaughtered, yet they are agitating for them to get into the streets anyway. That tells you everything about how Iranian lives are being viewed as expendable tools in a strategy aimed at weakening and fragmenting the country. This war has already hit infrastructure, civilian areas, and cultural sites. It is certainly not just about the Islamic Republic. It's about imposing severe costs on Iran as a whole. It's about collapsing the state. It's about turning Iran into a failed state. That is what the goal is. And yet many of the same Iranians being encouraged to rise up are consuming narratives that obscure this reality entirely through Israeli-backed propaganda machines like Iran International and online echo chambers. The gap between rhetoric and reality is extremely dangerous. It's a strategy that relies entirely on calculated deception of the Iranian people, weaponizing their hopes and dreams to maneuver them into dismantling their futures and their nation. Also worth underscoring, this is another U.S. side leak. These leaks speak volumes about how badly this is going, how much unease exists inside the U.S. government, and the destructive role Israel is playing in driving U.S. strategy towards destabilizing outcomes. Senior Israeli officials have told U.S. diplomats that the Iranian protesters will get slaughtered if they take to the streets, even as Israel publicly calls for a popular uprising, according to the State Department cable reviewed by the Washington Post. For the record, before you say, oh, Iran is so brutal, don't you think? Isn't this justified? Doesn't this justify intervention? They're at war. At that point, you are basically willingly turning yourself into an agent of the foreign state that is trying to destroy you. Okay? There is no country on the planet that wouldn't actively deal while they're literally being bombed, actively deal in the exact same way as the Iranian government might hypothetically deal with the protesters if they were to try and fucking destabilize the country and turn it into a fucking failed state at a time when they have to hold it intact. Okay? That's just the reality. You have to understand. You have to understand that no country on the planet that is invested in maintaining sovereignty and defending its citizens would allow them to work openly with a foreign state that is fucking bombing them in real time. Okay? That's it. That's it. Senior Israeli officials have told U.S. diplomats that Iranian protesters will get slaughtered if they take to the streets against Iran's government, even as Israel publicly calls for a popular uprising, according to the State Department cable review by the Washington Post. Israel knows this, by the way. Israel wants this to happen so that they can get more just cause to continue pummeling Iran, to change the calculation a little bit, to win the hearts and minds to the best of their ability in their fucking unlimited death and destruction campaign. I will not fall for it. Maybe some of you will. But it's totally ridiculous to expect the state to not directly and militarily deal with collaborators. It's ridiculous. The cable circulated by the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem on Friday relayed an Israeli assessment that Iran's regime is not cracking and is willing to fight to the end, despite the February 28th killing of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, and the ongoing U.S. and Israeli bombing campaign. The regime killed thousands during wide-scale anti-government demonstrations earlier this year. If large numbers of Iranians return to the streets, Israeli officials say the people will get slaughtered because the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran's principal military force, has the upper hand, according to the cable. The document's authenticity was verified by 2 State Department officials. It's that simple.
To that point on capabilities, Iran is an energy-rich country, could be, should be. Instead, like so many other places driven by a radical ideology, they've spent that money instead of investing in their people. That's why you had millions of Iranians protesting, because they felt like their quality of life didn't match what it could be or should be. And what was the Iranian state? There's a reason we call Iran the #1 state sponsor of terrorism, because they took the money they make.
You are right. It's so boring to do interviews and IRLs and you're helping them at the end of the day and they turn your backs on you and the fight. Please stop believing in opportunists like Mamdani, etc. I think you have to understand something, okay? As long as Mamdani is still a movement guy, even if he has, even if he has instances where he like fucks up on his messaging or actually ends up hurting himself, it doesn't matter. As long as he's still achieving the goals for his constituents, I'm always going to ride for him. When he demands the release of pro-Palestinian protesters and then they do get released, how the fuck do you expect me not to ride for that? I don't think Zohran Mamdani is an opportunist. Okay? I don't. I think he is unnecessarily careful and fearful sometimes, but he has done a fantastic job so far as the mayor of New York City. An incredibly complex role that he has to play. And he is absolutely showing up for his constituents. The moment he stops doing that is the moment where I will oppose him. That's it. There have been instances where I have criticized some of the initiatives he's taken, some of the backdoor deals that he's engaged with. But ultimately, if we're grading him on a curve that we grade every single politician on, he is above. He's above and beyond so many others. It's boring to me as a horrible critique for necessary conversations and interviews. Okay, dude. Well, you're boring too. Sorry. I mean, I love you and I'll keep doing it regardless, but
and they invest it in tunnels, and they invested in missiles, and they invested in launchers and UAVs, and we are destroying and degrading that in historic proportions. But it doesn't mean they won't still have some and try to hold people at issue, which is why we're fighting every single day to continue to compel. And you mentioned embassies and consulates. Unlike previous administrations, we are doubling and tripling down on ensuring that our people, regardless of their Department of War, Department of State, whatever they do, are secure in those facilities. And the best...
Yeah, like the Baghdad embassy, the most secure embassy on the planet right now.
defense is a good offense.
Yeah, we see those CRMs go brrr, and then a drone, just a fucking lawnmower, fly directly into the embassy in Baghdad.
And so we're not afraid to go after and kill anybody, and we have a lot of them attempting to target our diplomatic facilities. Iran, we're not surprised that they would indiscriminately target, and we're still seeing that. Jerry.
I still can't believe that fucking the F-35 fighter jet was damaged by Iran. That's crazy, man.
Now we continue to cover developments really across the U.S. and Israel.
Oh, we got another one. I obviously have to cover another funny moment that took place with the Japanese Prime Minister. Very funny moment. So Takaichi is in Washington, D.C. today. I got to show you that because I got to leave soon. But before I do that, I said, every day he surprises me. A reporter asked him the question, why didn't you tell the allies, specifically Japan, because this was a big deal for Japan, that Japanese people were very upset that Trump did not inform them that they were going to do a joint strike on Iran. They had Japanese nationals inside of Tehran. And obviously, Japan relies on the Strait of Hormuz for its entire energy, right? So this escalation should have been, this escalation should not have happened without like previous assurances to partners, right? Security partners. I don't like when we treat foreign governments like natural disasters when they commit atrocities. It sounds so much like a Hasbara people. Any state that would do what Israel did after 10/7.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
The audible groans in the room. Ooh. Oh, that's so awesome. I mean, he still got it. He still got it. That's so funny. He still fucking got it, baby.
You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise, right? Okay, one.
I cannot believe it, dude. It's just, what an insane thing to say. What a fucking insane thing to say. If anything, Japan knows all about the surprises. Why didn't you tell us before Pearl Harbor? Oh, he's such a fucking freak. Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, the war effort is not going well at all. Once again, Iran missiles have hit the Haifa refinery in Israel in major escalation.
Israel war against Iran, developments in the Middle East, developments in the Gulf, developments really across the world. Noor Day is southwest of Ramallah in the occupied West Bank, monitoring developments in Israel. Noor, there was a strike on the Israeli city of Haifa. Do you know what was hit?
Well, Sarah, we know now after the Israeli military censor also cleared the information that the oil refinery in the Haifa Bay was hit, as was the electricity company. There are some power outages reported in the Haifa area. The Israeli Minister of Energy has said that work to repair that damage is ongoing, and there were messages of reassurance to the public that there are no dangers of leaks, petrochemical leaks from that hit to the oil refinery. But this is a significant development, if you will, one that was considered remote even earlier on in the day when we heard from a member of the Israeli Security Cabinet who was basically mocking countries that were being targeted now by Iran and saying that basically that Israel didn't have oil resources and gas resources to speak of and that Iran wasn't targeting them. Haifa port is very strategic for Israel. It is home to Israel's Navy, to the nuclear submarines, to the oil refineries and the petrochemicals. And now it has been hit. It is not clear whether this was a shrapnel, an interceptor shrapnel, or an Iranian missile shrapnel, but the damage is unmistakable.
Noor, I'm looking at just recent developments in Israel. So Israel has hit the oil depots in Tehran. They also hit yesterday the Iran's gas facilities. And Iran has said, well, in that case, if you're going to do that, we're going to hit energy facilities across the Gulf. And now you're just reporting that they hit an oil facility in Haifa. Are more Iranian missiles getting through in Israel? Are more Iranian missiles actually hitting Israel now than they were 19 days ago when this war started? Because
yes, brother, I'm going to be streaming from Cuba. Yes, 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 yes. Stop asking. Yes, of course I'm going to be streaming from Cuba.
Israel was reporting that they had a 97% interception rate against Iranian missiles, but they are being hit pretty regularly 19 days into this war.
Yeah, I mean, they've dropped that percentage now publicly to 90%. But let's keep in mind that the missiles that Iran is using now, Cyril, are different from the ones used on day one. They're using far heavier missiles, supersonic missiles, missiles with cluster warheads that splinter into several missiles with an impact radius of about 10 kilometers. They are hitting more regularly. They are creating damage to facilities like the railroad station in Holon and in Tel Aviv, damage to now the oil refinery and the electricity company in Haifa, and damage elsewhere that the military censor is not clearing. This is a strategic challenge as it is being described by military sources in Israel. These missiles, even if they're intercepted, even if they're down, they still can do a lot of damage because, again, they splinter into many, many missiles. And when they enter Israeli airspace, when they re-enter the airspace, they re-enter it at supersonic speed. These are very, very challenging for the interceptors, sophisticated as they may be in Israel.
Tel Aviv, I'm impressed. Isn't that a meme?
Day, reporting southwest of Ramallah. Thank you very much for that.
هناك للأسف
Qatar rejects Iranian claim gas facility attacks targeted U.S.-linked sites.
ادعاءات إيرانية مستمرة بأن الاعتداءات
Tel Aviv impressed.
هي اعتداءات على مصالح أمريكية أو قواعد أمريكية في دولة قطر وفي دول المنطقة، وهذا ادعاء مرفوض ولا يمكن قبوله تحت أي مبرر. وأكبر دليل على ذلك يعني الاعتداء الذي تم يوم أمس.
What I find interesting is that with all these missiles now actually hitting basically anywhere in Israel, there does not seem to be, at least publicly, to be any kind of revolt or general public backlash to the current strategy, which to me lends credence to the fact or the opinion almost everyone in Israel is okay with this. Yes, they're a fascist state. I've been saying this over and over again. They will not stop. Okay? The public is very much in favor of continuously bombing Iran. They're crazy. They're crazy. Bro, they're literally, I said it already, they're raping Beirut right now while they're in the process of getting bombed. Like Haifa is getting bombed, and Israel is still trying to take over Beirut. They are trying to take over southern Lebanon militarily. They're psychopaths. And we just keep giving them fucking weapons. Like we keep giving them weapons. We keep giving them unlimited cover. It's ridiculous. Israel has a deep victim mentality. Even when they are the aggressors, they believe they're the victims. So very few will oppose what the IDF is doing. Yes.
All right, we're going to begin with some new strikes in the war with Iran that are shaking the oil and gas markets. A missile strike has heavily damaged the world's largest...
Ideologically, they're more hardened than the Nazis were. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I genuinely don't know. How I'm sure there was like a lot of fucking support for the Nazi movement at the time as well. I mean, it's just like Germany didn't revolt against the Nazis either. That's not true. That's objectively not true. That's literally not true. Regular German society abso-fucking-lutely revolted against the Nazis. They absolutely did. What are you talking about? They were killed for it. They fought to death. What do you think the communists were doing? Don't say, don't do historical revisionism. Who the fuck do you think was being taken to the fucking concentration camps? It was the socialists, the trade unionists, the communists, the Jews. What the fuck do you think they were doing? Regular German society had a strong resistance movement, a much stronger resistance movement, as a matter of fact, that actively fought long and hard, battles to the death. And they were sent to the death camps over it. It's not even a comparison. This is not a defense of Nazi Germany. This is a defense of the socialists, the communists, the Jewish Germans, the partisans. They fought. They fought in much, much larger numbers than Israeli society ever fought against the Zionist movement. It's not even a comparison. Ironically enough, it was their immediate relatives that now live in Israel. It was their ancestors that fought back against Nazi Germany. It was their great-grandparents that fucking fought back against the Nazis and paid the ultimate price for it. And now Israel not even whitewashes, but like revises that history, treating victims of the Holocaust and their immediate relatives as weak. Jews with trembling knees, they say. An unimaginably ahistorical approach that even Jonathan Greenblatt advanced the other day, where Jonathan Greenblatt said the ultimate Zionist propaganda: no longer are we the Jews with trembling knees. Israel is strong because of Zionism. It's one of the most disgusting ongoing ways in which pro-Israel folks lie about their own history of Jewish resistance. It's utterly depraved. Ironically, it's a very anti-Semitic statement, too.
Gas terminal in Qatar. It followed an Israeli attack on a massive gas facility in Iran. This is sending oil prices to staggering new heights. As you can see here, they have skyrocketed since the war began. Here in the United States, gas prices are now getting closer to the $4 mark. After the attacks, President Trump issued warnings to both Israel and Iran. Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv with the latest. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Vlad. A lot to get to. President Trump squaring off against both sides of this conflict, saying the U.S. has nothing to do with Israel's bombing of Iran's gas fields, demanding that Israel stop immediately and threatening to blow up Iran's gas fields if that country keeps attacking energy facilities in the Gulf.
The world's largest liquid gas plant, Ras Laffan in Qatar, in flames after Iranian strikes on the facility. The world's largest gas field, South Pars in Iran, among multiple sites attacked by Israel. President Trump angrily berating both sides on social media. No more attacks will be made by Israel, warning if Iran strikes Qatar again, the U.S. will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power Iran has never seen or witnessed before. Iran's attacks are still getting through, with more civilian casualties night and day. We arrived in this suburb of Tel Aviv to find an apartment destroyed, twisted metal, and broken glass in every direction.
Over the course of the past few days and nights, we've seen an increase in the frequency and intensity of these cluster bomb attacks. They are hard to defend against because there's lots of them, and they can fall anywhere.
This neighborhood has been hit twice in 2 days. The first strike killed an elderly couple who police say couldn't get to the shelter in time. Philadelphia native Paula has lived here for 13 years.
Americans will be wondering, why do you stay?
I think it's more important as a Jew to be here than ever before. I still feel safer living here than I do being a Jew living in the United States or Europe right now.
Lady, you are fucking insane. You are just a demonstrably insane person, okay? You're just an insane person. That is the most insane thing I've ever seen. You're standing next to rubble. What are you saying? Like, look behind you. Look behind you. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Standing on top of a home that has been fucking leveled, I'm like, well, this is certainly much safer for me as a Jew than the Upper West Side in Manhattan, okay? This is brainwashing. That's it. There's no other way to describe it. It's just, you're out of your fucking mind, okay? How do you have a normal conversation with this person?
And we've got an update on the USS Ford aircraft carrier. Remember, a fire broke out and sailors had to be treated for smoke inhalation. According to multiple reports, it took hours to get that fire under control. Hundreds of sailors had been forced to sleep on floors. So the U.S. Fifth Fleet said the fire is not combat related. And officials we spoke to this morning say the carrier is now headed to a U.S. Navy port in Greece for repairs and some much needed downtime for sailors on board. Yeah.
All right. That'll be all for today. Unfortunately, only 3 hours. It literally is a half day today. Half day Hasi doing a half day. I am on my way to Cuba. By this time tomorrow, I will be live in Cuba. I will be doing a regular broadcast in Cuba as well. For those of you who are asking, I am joining the flotilla, the aid mission to Cuba, alongside numerous other politicians, artists, activists, advocates, journalists on a humanitarian aid mission. I'm going to Cuba to, one, bring awareness to the plight of the Cuban population as a direct consequence of American intervention on the island nation for the last couple of decades. And I'm also going to deliver, alongside many others, humanitarian aid to the Cuban population, including but not limited to solar panels. $400,000 worth of solar panels have been bought by the Answer Coalition and Code Pink. We are going to get to the island and interview a bunch of people. I'm going to be doing my regular news coverage when I'm out there. I have established a place where I'll hopefully be able to have internet access and energy, even though the grid is on shaky grounds. Well, you know, the situation is very fluid down there, but you know, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to go to Cuba and see the Cuban folks, which is a beacon of hope and resilience. Yeah, that's all. Are you using Starlink? No, I will not be using Starlink. I will also try to do IRL streams as well. I will try to do a roaming backpack stream as well, but that is going to be much more limited, of course. Okay. And that's it. We are not going to be transmitting through the flight or the flotilla either. Initially, we set it up so that I could stream it, but I'm not going to be streaming that process either for safety concerns. But I will be live when I get to Cuba. Okay? That'll be all. Tomorrow, like I said, I will be live from Havana. We'll also be vlogging or shooting a mini documentary when we're out there as well. Peace, everybody.
All the chatter's trickling in, hostile people hate. Sunny in Los Angeles, California, says Hasan. Stun luck to the stun luck to the topic's just begun. 'Cause there he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There it is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. Reviewing a Chinese train, telling Kyle place. Sun and Asmin chatter loves, giving Greening's grace. Zoran winning NYC, woke two back with the force. The Rogan of the left, to me a dumb himbo still of course. The Charlie Kirk assassination, the Fear and Online show. 8 full fucking years of this, and plenty more to go. Doing fun stuff tomorrow, throw PBS up on the screen. A man-made horror reaction brought to you by this life's dream. 'Cause there he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. Kicked out of the DNC, IRL with March the Goat. Combating the propaganda that shoved down people's throats. CBS Israeli news, a coup, a regime falls. A full-blown fascist takeover, and still the duty calls. Total radicalization coming out to see. The system will always fail, it's up to you and me. On these daily streets, whether short or whether long, have helped millions of people keep it moving right along. 'Cause there he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. But hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. But he'll play games real soon. Just you wait. Say, hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. But he'll move on real soon. Just you wait. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, what can you say? Hey, that's BBS for you. But he'll pull your lungs real soon. Just you wait. Sha-da-da, sha-da-da, sha-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, what can you say? Hey, that's BBS for you. But he'll do your advice real soon. Just you wait. But hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. Brought on by viewers like you. Just you wait. Just you wait.